ブルマークの怪獣シリーズなのだ。
レーシングカーだ。
スピードコントローラーでぐんぐん走るミニカードライブゲームなのだ。
お子様の夢を育てるブルマーク。
おいらは怪獣マズイラだ。ご飯がまずくなる恐ろしい怪獣ですね。坊やの運命やいかに完全と現れた正義の味方。さすがのマズイラも美味しいものには弱かったですね。ご飯の味方、何はなくとも江戸紫。
ゴジラ対キングギドラ。足型シール20枚で怪獣大図鑑がもらえるキングザウルスシリーズポピーより発売中。
Yeah, Collectible Monsters, this is Space Godzilla and Godzilla from 94 behind me, so ignore those guys, but today we're celebrating the next movie, Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, and its 30 years of destruction.
And welcome back to Collect All Monsters. Hey, nice timing, Christine. I literally watched you run off the screen and the little thumbnail down below, and I was like, where is she going? There's like 1 second left here. Hello, everybody, and so glad to be back with my co-hosts here. We have a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, showing off some collectibles about it. We got some questions that everybody has asked everybody here, and we want to hear that from you guys as well. We will be checking in with the chat room, but look at all these awesome people who are like watching right at the top of the show. 27 people kicking us off for episode 71. 3 decades of Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. I think that what we're going to just go ahead and do... Oh, actually, the first thing I should acknowledge is we're down a co-host today. In fact, let me just do a little presto changeo, rearrangeo here. And Jonathan Portman, our producer, is stepping in for Mr. John Ruffin, who is unable to join us today. And we're going to have a heck of a show today, so I'll go ahead and start off our regular first segment, Showa and Tell, with Mr. Leslie Chambers. All right, Leslie, the floor is yours, as they say.
Oh yeah, the last episode of this year, 2025, I got that right, Kyle. So don't kill me. It's hard to believe that this year is already over. Like 2025 is over, you know. But we talked about Angerus. We acknowledged him for his birthday. We talked about the Monster Zero crew. We covered Titanosaurus. Sorry, Jonathan. We talked about Gamera, of course, but this is the one I think we've all been kind of like dreading to talk about because you know what we're covering here, you know, in the main segment. And I'm already ready. You know, I got the shirt popping from John Bellotti Jr., you know what I'm saying? You know, and I hope everybody has their tissues ready because you're going to need them, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, 30 years, this film has been around. The awesome finale of the Godzilla illustrious Godzilla Heisei series just turned 30 officially this past Tuesday on the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to talk about that film, talk about what we love about it, what we don't like about it. Yes, there are some hot takes coming. So, but we're here to give you an awesome, entertaining show with our last main episode of this year, 2025. But don't fret, we got some awesome stuff coming next year in 2026. There's so much stuff to talk about. Rodan, 70 years of Rodan. You know, Shin Godzilla, 10 years. David, Ultraman. Kyle, Ultra Q. You know what I'm saying? Lots of stuff. Godzilla's the sea monster, you know.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Oh, Damagen, he's celebrating his angry vengeance birthday anniversary next year. So we got lots of stuff to talk about.
And Leslie, your favorite, the War of
the Gargantuas.
Absolutely. Gyra, that's
absolutely.
For you.
Oh, Baragon too. You know.
This is a good year. It's a hot year.
Yeah, it's a hot year. But we got lots of stuff to talk about. And you never know, Minus Zero may come out next year. So again, we're gonna be eating good. But tonight we're gonna talk about some heavy stuff in the form of Godzilla vs. Destroyer. But normally this is around the part where we do show and tell, and we do like 3 things. But I only got 2 things to show because I kind of went crazy last month for obvious reasons. But I did get 2 things for myself that I'm dying to talk about. And coincidentally, like Destroyer, these are Heisei items. So first and foremost, and this is something I think one of my co-hosts has been trying to track down. I think he did pull the trigger, but I did get my hands on the Ichiban Kuji Godzillasaurus 1991.
Yes. Mine's on its way.
Oh, mine's
very nice.
Too.
Excellent.
Awesome.
My first.
Yeah, I want to hear your impression of this.
My first Ichiban Kuji purchase, and I'm thoroughly impressed because I unapologetically love this movie, Kyle.
Hey, man, I hear you. I'm going to see it next week. So,
I mean, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, like when I first interviewed Kyle and I asked my normal questions, when we got to what his opinion is of the most overrated Godzilla film, he broke my heart when he said Godzilla was the King Ghidorah, and ever since then I've been kind of like jabbing at him, you know. So that's the reference behind that, you know.
Hey, I'm down to take it. It's cool.
But I'm glad you're going to see it. At least you're trying to rectify yourself in my eyes. So that's always a good thing. But David, yes, you did a great job when you pulled the trigger on this guy.
It's fantastic.
And honestly, this is the second Godzillasaurus I got myself this year. The first being the 30cm resin model kit from Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo.
Right.
So if you're a huge fan of the Godzillasaurus from the film, you had 2 chances to try and get it this year, you know, and they were both solid chances to get, or at least solid figures to get, excuse me, because this kaiju, at least he's very underrepresented in the marketplace, you know.
100%.
But again, this is a really, really cool figure. The sculpt is awesome. The paint job is awesome. Did Sakai sculpt this?
I think
anybody
so.
know?
Because he's done the others.
That's a good question. Possibly. I don't think so, because I think they would have advertised it as such. But
I thought he did.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did.
He did the other ones.
It looks like a Sakai sculpt with him rolling upward in the dynamic pose. It wouldn't surprise if he did sculpt it, you know. But again, this is a cool piece. He goes great with the Ichiban Kuji Godzilla's 1991 that they put out, Mecha King Ghidorah, or if you have the 30cm X Plus, he goes great with him, you know. But he didn't come alone. He came with a little extra bonus. Hopefully they'll appear on camera because they are so tiny. But it came with these 3 mini Dorat figures.
Oh my God, those are tiny.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble navigating these things because they're so tiny to the point where, again, if you blink, they will disappear on you.
Oh my
but
God.
but that's, you know, that's cool. But Kyle, you can fire out those pictures. You can see the figures better.
A dinosaur's attacking our boys.
What a great show!
Yeah.
And the paint job.
Take that, you dinosaur.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Honestly, when I see this pose, I think of him being shot, and they gave him the gamma roar. How Toho got away with that, I have no idea. Kyle, do you have any information about that?
I think they just strong-armed it. I think
that's
because at the
right
time
there
there were no Gamera movies being made, so they probably were just like, yeah, we could just do this.
They're like, what are you gonna do?
But I don't have any background information on it. I don't.
they're
I wish
unrated.
I would
They're
love to hear the actual decision from somebody at Toho.
Yeah, but this is what they look like up close and personal. The door rats I'm talking about, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get it. Not only because of the Godzillasaurus, but I never had any representation of the door rats in my collection.
Yes, yeah.
Even though it's not my favorite origin of Ghidorah. Even when I first watched the film, and as a King Ghidorah fan, I'm watching the film. I'm like, I know the film deals with time travel. I'm sitting there like, how are they going to introduce Ghidorah into the story? Are they going to bring him in as a space demon with time travel? Or are they going to go back to the Showa period and bring him in? But then when you see these things on screen and you're like, okay, they got the Ghidorah wings, they got the Ghidorah scales. And if you listen closely, that melody that Ifukube put with these guys is actually like a lighthearted Ghidorah thing. I'm like, don't tell me.
Creepy.
Don't tell me that these things are going to be King Ghidorah. And lo and behold, they were. But it's cool. It's a cool, nice representation. They're not fully painted. I'm fine with just a flat gold. Whatever.
Yeah, they're small enough. You don't need to have them.
Yeah. But if you go to that next photograph with the other Ghidorah figures I have, this is what I really want to make happen. And it hit me when I put this shot together that Ghidorah in that film goes through 3 transformations. Ain't that ironic? Dorats, the regular King Ghidorah, and Mecha King Ghidorah. One of the many reasons why I love that film, despite it has a lot of plot holes big enough that a dump truck can drive through. But other than that, this was a great
big enough
release.
to run an Android through, right?
You ain't lying.
Ouch.
It's one of those films you gotta just turn your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is, But David, you're gonna love it. I know you love this film.
I can't wait, and I'm stoked that I don't have to paint it. It looks pretty like it's already there. Like,
it's awesome.
That's great. I'm so excited to get it. I'm glad you got one.
Yeah, and you're gonna love it. I know you love this film almost as much as I do. So he'll go great in your collection. So, fantastic. But that's the first item I want to talk about: the Ichiban Kuji Godzillasaurus with the Dorats. And this next one, again, coming from the Heisei series, I've been kind of quietly going after like these tokusatsu machines that we've seen in these movies that not only combat the kaiju but aid the kaiju. And that's one thing about the Heisei series. They had so much awesome mechas and futuristic weapons, the Super X's, the Mazers, Mecha Godzilla, Mecha King Ghidorah, the Megara, they had all this cool mechs, or mechas, I should say. And this one, even though I'm not a big fan of the movie itself, I saw a representation of it in my collection. And it's a 30 centimeter model kit from Galloping Ghost. Again, I love that company. And it is the ultimate in modern technology, otherwise known as Garuda. Where's the ultimate? Now it's just junk. Like, did he have to do that in front of him, in front of that girl?
Did you have to do it too?
Oh man, that was really good though, Leslie.
Oh, you like that?
Okay. I loved it.
Oh my gosh!
Shut him down real quick. He thought he was doing some things. He was like, "Yes, it's Garuda." You're really ultimate. Now it's just junk. But nah, this is a cool resume kit of Garuda. You know what I'm saying?
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Again, Marcellus
That
Winters
does look great, man.
Thank you. Marcellus Winters did build and paint it for me, And again, I've been kind of going after these tokusatsu vehicles, whether it's machines like this, the UFOs from Planet X, the Maser tanks, from the Showa period, whatever. So it's nice to get these pieces to go along with the kaiju, they accessorize the kaiju, and there's not too many Garudas out there, as far as like collectibles in the marketplace, but this is a really, really cool piece. And Kyle, if you could fire up those pictures for me of the Garuda, appreciate it.
Nice. That's huge.
Yeah, so you can see him up against the 30 centimeter X Plus 93 Godzilla, which looks really, really, really cool. And honestly, you know what? When X Plus brought out the Mecha Godzilla 93 pieces, the standard was just Mecha Godzilla by himself. The Rick came with the Garuda attached to his back. I wish that they would have had an option where you can take off Garuda and display it by itself, kind of like this.
That would be
But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But again, I'm glad to finally have this in my collection. But besides this, I want to pair it with the monster he directly opposed in the film. Kyle, you got that photograph? There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And
Nice.
if you stare at this for more than 5 seconds, that's actually longer than what the movie provides, if we're being honest. They built Garuda up as this awesome thing, but yet Rodan just takes him out in like 2 seconds. No wonder old boy got shut down. Where's the old twin now? It's just junk. but yeah, I'm glad I have this in my collection, you know. But again, he goes great with Godzilla. He goes great with Fire Rodan. So I'm glad to have these pieces in my collection. My final 2 pieces of this awesome year of 2025. Now you're probably wondering, this is the show where we normally talk about what we got this year and talk about the year we had, but that will be the next episode, and we'll give you more information about that before we close out, because y'all gonna be a huge part of that episode. You know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about that before we get up out of here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So it's so great to be back here on Collect All Monsters, talking about the awesome explosive finale of the Heisei Godzilla series, Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. So now I'm gonna kick it over to my main man down in Southern California, the one, the only. There's always room for both. David Eric Dopko. What's going on, David?
Hey, what's up, Leslie? It's great to be here with everybody, and I love the fact that you chose your 2 items that directly correlate to the Heisei series, because we're talking about the finale of the Heisei series. So that's spot on, my friend. Nice work. And I'm very excited to get my Godzillasaurus, because yes, I think I can honestly say this. I think the 91 film is probably my favorite of the Heisei series. I know that's a hot take.
What?
Hot take.
That.
But it's a go-to. I enjoy that movie more than I enjoy watching some of the other ones. All right, but that's another show, another story. But so I've been kind of, a little slowing down a little bit, but there's some things that I did actually get, and you can probably see the first thing I'm going to show right behind me. It is our good friend of the show, Mr. Peter Santa Maria, aka Attack Peter, his beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon beer release, and it's pretty awesome. I'm still looking for the tall cans that have the different monsters on them, but I couldn't pass it up. I'm being honest, I really don't like this beer, so I'll probably never drink it. But I had to get it. I couldn't pass it up. And this was actually the last one in the liquor store. So yeah, drinks on me. Come on down. You're more than welcome. Here it is, right here.
So is that the one where the can turns blue? Cold, right?
I don't know. I didn't put it in the fridge yet, and it's not cold in the desert, so I have no idea. Maybe the answer is maybe.
I think it has like a blue glow around Godzilla or something. They were saying. I think it's.
But we're all so proud of Peter, and it could not have happened to a nicer guy. He deserves all of the accolades he's been getting, because he's just one of my favorite people in the community, and he's just an awesome guy. And congrats to you, Peter. And I saw it there, and I couldn't pass it up, even though I'll never drink it. So, but I will drink a sip of my green tea. So next up, as you all know, and I pretty much mention this every time we do show and tell, I'm narrowing my collection down to getting a few Sofubi representations that are missing in my collection. And one of the ones I was missing, I picked up because either they found more or they made more. The Mondo Cherry Blossom.
Nice.
Jaguar.
Pretty colorway.
It's really cool. I love this colorway. I love that it's a glowy.
Yes.
It fits perfectly in my collection. I can stick him right in the middle of the glowy shelf. No tail, and he's a beautiful figure, and I'm really stoked that he just kind of popped up out of nowhere that he was available to purchase again, and I grabbed him. And I think there's 1 or 2 left if anybody needs this guy in their collections as well.
It's a great colorway.
Yes, I love it, love it, love it. And then finally, this is something that Kyle knows. When we were in Japan in 2019, Keith, Kyle, and myself went to Osaka, and we went to visit G and the crew at X Plus HQ, and they gave us a lovely gift, and it ended up being this beautiful model kit.
Ooh.
Clear red version model kit of the Sakai Shin Godzilla 30 centimeter. And it's been sitting in my cabinet for a long time. And finally, right around Halloween, because this is kind of a scary Godzilla, I wanted to kind of build and paint him finally. And I did. And he wasn't finished for Halloween, full disclosure. But I finished him recently. and I can't tell you how happy I am the way he came out. And
Oh
here
my
he
gosh.
is my
Beautiful
take,
work, David.
on the beautiful X Plus clear red
Wow.
vinyl Sakai model kit. And I never, sorry, John Ruffin, I was never really a fan of the googly white eyes that kind of look a little, like Muppety. So I made mine sort of like a GMK sort of red, where you can
Oh,
see
nice.
it kind of lets the red vinyl come through a little bit. So it actually really, it's very impactful when you see it with a light behind it. But yeah, I did finally finish this guy, and I'm very proud of myself. And I'm just really, every once in a while, I like say, this I did a good job on this one. Very hard on my own work, but I'm really stoked about this one. So this is the final piece that I have.
That's
to
gorgeous.
By the way, David, I loved seeing the photos of that paint job you were doing when you were posting them in the group.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did some behind the scenes little work there, and when I first started painting it, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out because I've never painted anything like this before. And actually, what inspired me to finish it is seeing Kyle's finish when I was at his house in November in Japan, and yeah,
Right over there.
you built yours right off, like really quickly, and then I've been waiting for I don't know what I've been waiting for, but finally I was inspired and I painted it, and I'm stoked, and now I have a nice Sakai representation that I did myself. So that's all I have. Welcome back, Christine Chapin. Nice to see you in person again. And what do you have to show us? I'm sure there's quite a few things, but remember, only 3. Don't be John Ruffin today.
That's really hard because it's been, a couple months since I've been on here, but there's just been so many things going on. But last time I was on the show, I was in California, and now I'm in Texas. So
yeah, you left our state. Boo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll come back to visit, but oh man, I'm loving it here so far. I know everybody keeps warning us about the summers, so I'm like, I don't know. We had hot summers in Sacramento, like 100.
Oh,
we didn't have the humidity.
Hold my beer.
Yeah,
really.
I know. So, but hey, I grew up in New York, which is wicked humid in the summer. So I'm like, okay. Right now it's like California weather. It's nice and cool. Well, not cool. It's like 70s, sunny. Oh man, I'm soaking it up right now. But I have got a lot of stuff over the past couple months, so I'm narrowing it down for you guys. But first thing, I just got these in. I have to show them off on my Instagram, but because I got a whole bunch of stuff. There's this company called Whatever Makes You Happy, and they got a licensed Chibi Godzilla line, which it's so hard to find any of the Chibi Godzilla stuff here because there's not really a lot out in the United States. But we've got bags, super cute, like. I don't know if you can see it, little clips and stuff.
I like the Chibi heater. It's great.
Look at how cute.
Yeah, that's super cute.
I can't see, but like it's got all the little nuggets. Super cute. So yeah, this is like just one of the bags they have, and then I did have this ginormous bag clip. It's huge, but oh no, they got. So I think they're on sale now, and if you go to Whatever Makes You Happy, their Facebook, Instagram, their website. You can check out all their Chibi Godzilla merch, and I think they had said you got to get your orders placed by December 16th if you want to have it in time for Christmas. So,
3 days left.
Cute Christmas presents. Definitely go check them out because these are just fantastic. They got all kinds of stuff: earrings, wallets, like everything. Oh, and then I did get something from Decon. Actually, I got a couple things from Decon because I didn't go, but the first is. We love our Mondo team, and they always are cranking out gorgeous colorways. I was luckily able to snag the Nightshade Godzilla 84 that Hector painted. It is like a pink translucent. Oh my god,
that's beautiful. I never saw that. I missed that one somehow.
So beautiful. It sold out pretty fast online, and thank goodness I got the Space Godzilla too. He's back there somewhere. Back there, but because that was what I really wanted. Well, I really wanted both of them, but man, this one came in, and he's just like, it's so beautiful in person. And I love
it's like that's a great 84 scope.
Yes, my birthday year Godzilla, so I had to have them, and these colors are just Oh my gosh. I mean, I love blue, and then the pink and the translucent. And look at his face here. Let's see if it focuses on him. He's got those yellow eyes.
It's nice.
Super nice stuff.
Hector's the man.
Yes, they are. They do beautiful. I mean, he has beautiful paint work. I mean, everything. I think the Space Godzilla, I forgot the name of the variant already of this one, but the tinsel with the clear with that's it for me. That's if you could just do everyone in that colorway, I will buy them. And then my last decon purchase, I actually got it from one of the groups.
Yeah, this is the one I'm jealous of.
I had to have it. Like I seen the picture. I think Nick posted it in the group, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because last year, the Medicon booth had was it last year they had the Shin Godzilla, and so I knew they were probably going to bring something this year. I was supposed to go. I was going to go to decon this year, but then we ended up moving. So it was so I had to cancel it. But they had this adorable 54 Godzilla that comes with the oxygen.
Oh my god, look at that. That is dope.
Like, I was like, man, I was kicking myself for not going. So I immediately went to the groups and I was like, dude, if anybody has what they want to sell, please let me know. So somebody to have it extra.
Just turn it right side up though.
I got it. But actually, if you guys want one, if anybody wants looking for one, the company the company that runs Decon, or they're part of, anyways, they have some leftovers. So these are available for retail, which is $325 at the show. It's 3D Retro, 3dretro.com or something. But if you go, I don't know how many are left. But yes, $325. You get the Oxygen Destroyer with this little adorable.
Little Shodai is adorable.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta say this, Christine. This is really funny. Both you and I posted simultaneously that, hey, if anybody has an extra one or wants to sell it, let me know. Guess who they contacted first? Not me.
I didn't see your post actually. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But it's
yeah,
you know.
You can get it cheaper.
I see how it is up in here, but it's funny. Yes, thank you. I feel the same way. Yeah.
Oh, but I am so I had to have it. I mean, I just spent a little bit more, but it's okay because I got it. I didn't know there was gonna be leftovers. Sometimes I know the Shin Godzillas have sold out that the first year, whatever year it was that they were in Vegas, but it's like I didn't know, so I'm like, I want to get this thing. But so if anybody wants one, early Christmas present, 3dretro.com.
Maybe Keith's listening. Maybe he's listening right now. So
Keith.
I don't know. I doubt it. I think he's not listening.
It's tempting. That's a tempting one.
It is really tempting. And I don't know if you knew, Christine, that it was coming out. It kind of hit me by surprise. I had no idea that was even on the radar. And I'm a huge Oxygen Destroyer fan. Like when it's ever since Kyle and I saw it in 2014 at the exhibit. That was full circle for me. So I might just have to bite the bullet and just get it. But
I would.
Now that everybody knows where to get it, I'm done. But it's okay. It's all good.
I was trying because it's a decent. It's like a great size one. It's 12 inches, and I mean I think it looks.
It's pretty accurate too.
Fantastic.
Nice.
But don't forget though that Paragon FX is making that life size one. Which
that's going to be a little out of my pay grade. That's a little,
I'm
going to have to dream about that one.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see it. But I think that one comes out next year. But because there isn't a lot of Oxygen Destroyer stuff. I mean, really, I think just really the Rick exclusives with X Plus and maybe the cast.
And also the Defa Real Sarazawa is holding one too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. But man, I mean, come on, look at how cute he is.
I love the red eyes. Red eyes.
He's like an angry, happy gremlin thing.
He looked like he escaped from fat camp. He like escaped from fat camp.
A little chunky butt. So
he looked like
so
he fell
cute,
into.
though.
He is really cute. He almost looks like little Godzilla almost.
He looked like he fell into a can of Doritos and chose to eat his way out of it. That's what he looks like.
He does. I had. It's cool because like this is the first time they've done a mini Godzilla. So hey,
That might be a trend. Yeah, that might be a trend.
Saku, if you want to do more little mini line of Godzillas, I'll buy those too because I love.
I was legit tempted to get that. Actually, Nick was at the show, and I saw his post, and I was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Let me know if you need one," and they told me the price, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just bought like you can't see it because my mic stands in the way, but I just bought the pillow version, the sort of plush version of the Oxygen Destroyer, which is going to be my life-size version of it, since I don't really have a good spot for the life-size one. Which I mean, back if I hadn't moved to Japan and I still had my big giant collection, I would have absolutely gotten the that one that's coming out. But
the Paragon.
The Paragon one. The plush one works for me now. Plus, I have like a little keychain version that's pretty awesome too. So yeah.
So the Paragon, Kyle. Now that you mention it, they're actually releasing. It might be out already or soon. They're releasing a bubbler for your fish tank.
That's cool too.
Oxygen Destroyer. I might have to get a damn fish tank just because I want it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they're doing. I think they're doing. Sarah was holding it, and it's pretty cool. And again, I think we're finally seeing some love for the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yeah,
which we'll talk about a little more later on in the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a iconic.
Perfect
piece
segue, right? Almost.
Right. Oh, and then I got my Middle Beyond just
That's four. That's four.
On. Check this out. I gotta show it off real quick.
No, you don't. You can pass it over. Come on.
Let me just show. Check this out. It's got Burning Godzilla.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so that's perfect. Yeah.
And then there's like this little.
I need their whole flannel shirt line.
Yeah, me too, because that's my wardrobe.
Look at it.
Oh, that's
Christine. Hook me up. I'm gonna need. Yeah, hook me up.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love the little.
They got what? King Ghidorah,
Mechagodzilla, yeah.
Smog Monster, Hedorah, right?
Yeah, Hedorah, and then they got a green. Oh, the green one. The green one's really beautiful too. But this is Burning, and they got my Burning Godzilla. They also did a bandana.
We're at 6 now. We're at 6.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna shut up.
John Ruffin Jr.
I've been missing for like 3 months on the show, right? I gotta catch up.
Cut a mic.
Cut a mic. We're passing it back.
Thank you.
Oh, did you cut her off? Oh, did you? No, you did not. Oh,
that's my Christmas present for Leslie.
Oh.
That's the Lord. That's the Lord right there.
I'm talking about myself.
It's a Christmas miracle.
I'm going the other way. Okay, shut up. Who am I
Oh my God! No, you did not.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
We're going back to California.
Yeah, we're going back to California. Yeah. What's up, guys? How's it going? Good to see everybody. I got a few things while we were last on, but I'm not gonna pull Christine and show a billion other things. So let's get to it, shall we?
Good point.
Well, the first thing I got is, since we're sticking to the decon theme here, I got this actually online. I was able to get one online before they sold out. But I got myself another Godzilla UFO, but I got the glowy one this time.
Oh, nice.
And just looking at the colors of this one, I knew I had to have it, especially since I don't really have a lot of glowies in my collection. But this one especially, the way it looks in my collection now, especially right with the Kaiju cream, it's perfect. And I will say, the only downside of this is when I'm coming home late at night and the lights are all off, and this thing is like glowing straight through. As I'm like kind of get freaked out. I'm like, "Ooh, what's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just the figure." Okay, cool. So,
ghost.
Welcoming you.
Yeah, right. Ooh. Yes. But anyway, so I'm really happy to have this Octeal. You knocked it out of the park. So did you, Mondo and Peter and Hector. Y'all killed it with this. So thank you for shoveling these out, and we're looking forward to the Ghidorah one as well.
Oh yes, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I would show off, but it's on me. It's we're gonna keep plugging Mondo here. Why not? I got myself the if I can point correctly, the Attack Peter.
Nice.
Mondo.
Oh,
that was
awesome.
fast. That's great.
Wow,
it was on the back.
big.
Oh, I didn't know it was on the back.
Print on the back. I didn't really
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And I've always wanted a shirt from his, and I sadly missed out on all the ones that had sold out from the poster versions that he put on prints. I missed out on those. So when this was at Decon, huge thank you to Nick Sides, my buddy and a friend of the show, for picking this up for me, and he gave it to me the next weekend. So thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. And the third item I would like to share, I swear this is not planned, is yet another Mondo Decon exclusive. And I believe, Kyle, you might have the photos for this. It is the Tom Wayland Godzilla versus Destoroyah poster, which I don't have a lot of Tom Wayland posters, but I will say I have the Mothra versus Godzilla, and I had to get this one as well.
Oh,
so
his art is just.
I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah.
This one is particularly juicy. I love it.
It's juicy is correct. It's beautiful. I mean, the colors in that, the way they pop, compositions, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And I always loved, God, I always loved the Japanese characters. You know, the katakana, all as the title is all splayed out there. It's beautiful. Right down the vertical too. You have Destroy in the background. It's chef's kiss, really. And the smoke plumes. I mean, just beautiful artistry, really. I mean, thank you, Tom, for gracing us with your talent. It's amazing. And Bondo for releasing it.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
I have not seen that. This is the first time I've actually seen it. That's stunning.
Yeah, it's great in person. I saw it online. I was like, I can't wait to get this thing. It's like, damn, this thing is nice.
And I love the fact that artists are embracing the smoke plumes coming from Godzilla. Recently.
Yes.
I think that's it. That was an untapped opportunity, and now we're seeing it in figures and posters and things, and it's just next level cool, because that's a big part of that suit design, which we will talk about later.
Absolutely, 100%. But that's pretty much it for my show and tell. So without further ado, let's kick it up, or rather, west of me across the ocean to Kyle in Japan.
To the Far East.
To the Far East.
Hello everybody. Boy, oh boy, I feel like this has been really the craziest year for not just Collectible Monsters, but also me personally here. My wife, just to sort of wrap up a whole year in very quick nutshelling. My wife had surgery last year on her back, and so the year of 2024, we weren't able to do a ton of stuff here in Japan. That has changed, and this year, she and I are cruising all around doing all sorts of awesome stuff, and it is a never-ending. It really never ends. I mean, there is something happening all the freaking time here. So much so that I will say it's really difficult for me to put together a limited amount of Showa and Tell stuff today, because since you know about this because of our last episode and Leslie's streams and stuff, but Leslie, John, David, Helmy, and Sandra, of course, yes, and some other people were here in Japan recently for the whole Godzilla event. That was in November, and then at the end of the November, there was the Gamera expo that happened that I went to, and I did something, a tokusatsu tour. I'm going to show something off for in just a second, and then I went to Australia. And saw Helmy and stayed with Helmy for a while, and I don't have photos from that because we just had so much fun hanging out that we didn't shoot a video. But Helmy's in the chat right now.
Next time,
and
I'll shoot it for you.
they shot videos of me walking through his collection because Helmy's collection is more it's like a house. It's not just. He has his theater room. He has his DVD room. He has his game room, etc. It just never ends. Almost it's kind of crazy. But what I will say is right there, because I was with Helmy, and he's such an enabler. He was constantly looking for something for me to buy on the trip, and he took me to a ton of collectible shops. And nothing really was calling my name until we went to sort of an independent toy store that was not for kids. It was an adult's kind of expensive sofa beat. No, not an adult, but not the mature in that
I
sense.
see.
But
Just
they
Josh.
had like, you know, they had like a whole bunch of like independent sofa artists work on display and some cool like I guess you'd call it like lowbrow art stuff. And I mean that's my jam as well, so I was really happy. And what I did get from my trip to Australia, which I like just got back like last week, so or this week. This week. I just got back this week. So they had a gotcha machine.
Oh, yeah.
Gachapon, but it had someone's like little tiny sofa and I got this Zen Godzilla. Come on, focus on that, not on me.
Oh my gosh.
Come on now.
Oh, so it's like a
I gotta
Buddha
like,
Godzilla.
yeah, I gotta cover up my face or something here, but yeah.
Oh, that's
it was
cool.
it was cool. Anyway,
I love gotcha.
That's what I got from the trip. That's number one. Item number one. Item number two. Let me open some photos here. On the 30th of November, I went on a tokusatsu tour, and this was something. I have way more to show for this. I'm actually going to try and make a video for the Kaiju Cast channel, showing off this whole thing, and they're going to have the video from it as well. So I'm not going to go into the whole detail of it, but basically it included it included an activity where we made our own miniatures.
Oh.
And this is my miniature sign. Okay.
That's fantastic.
So this is, you know, in your Japanese cinema, especially the tokusatsu variety, these are the kinds of things that are on top of the buildings, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so I made that one.
So
And
cool.
let me open.
What does it say?
The
What does the
photos
character
here.
say? Is that your name?
It says Kaiju.
Kaiju. Oh, Kaiju.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so basically what we did is we made the miniatures, right? Then we went out. I'm really not even sharing as much of the story as I should, but we went out to film a kaiju scene. So this is the whole group.
Sick.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, so this guy down here, if you can see my mouse doing that,
Yes.
that's Kiyotaka Taguchi, who is an Ultraman director. And these are the participants here. So there's obviously me up on the right holding my sign, and then the other people who had signed up for the tour, along with Taguchi-san. But this is like
So
the whole crew of everybody. So he brought a bunch of people who work with him, including this dude here, David, which is Yusuke Miki, who's just
Oh,
our friend
yes, of
from
course.
Hail to the King.
That's right.
And like when
That's
he
right.
came in,
Wow.
when we were sitting down at the table and he was going to explain how to make the thing, and he was like, "Oh, Kainu-san," and I was like, "Oh, Miki-san," and it was like awesome moment.
That's so cool. What a great guy he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it was amazing. I really was very happy that's how that went. So that's
Extremely jealous of that. I'm sorry to say.
oh, dude. Well, I mean, honestly, it was such an incredible experience. And it was the act of making the miniature, the act of shooting the footage of this, and we set the whole thing up. I will be doing a full-blown video about this,
Please do.
but because there's just not enough time for me to talk about it right now. And then afterwards we had lunch. Then after that we went to the Tokusatsu Archive Center, and then after that we went to the Tsuburaya Museum, and I have even more stuff about that. Like, in fact,
and
David,
it was open. And it was open.
it was the Tsuburaya Museum was open. Yeah. In fact, I thought for sure I'd done everything in Tsukugawa. I still haven't been to the airport for one.
Oh, right.
But
we
when
missed out on that.
when we went to the Tsuburaya Museum, someone was like, "Okay, I'm going to bring you around here." And we went down an alleyway, like down the block, just past the M78 store. And as we're walking down this alleyway, he's like, "Right here is where Eiji Tsuburaya's house was,
No way. No
where he was
way.
born."
Oh.
Now it's not there anymore, but there's a monument there. And in addition to that, there's a coffee shop right there as well. So when we had gotten there sort of late in the day, like, cause it's wintertime here. So, the sun sets around 4:30. And so we got there around 3:30 and I was like, what time are we meeting for the bus? They said like 5:40. And I had all this extra time and I couldn't do any more filming or shooting or anything like that. So I went to the coffee shop, and not only did the coffee shop it was like a Kissaten style, right? We're like very old school. Like, I don't know if you could actually smoke in there, but in Japan that like you could still smoke in the Kissatens. That's not like I'm not like supporting it. It's just one of those things to be aware of if you go to them. But it's like an old school style cafe, just pretty much for coffee. And they have like every coffee implement available to do like slow roast and cold press and blah, 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 coffee stuff. And then when the guy saw my shirt and saw my name tag, he told me that they had some things on display in the coffee shop, some Subaraya like things on display, some like little, like, so someone had made like a little diorama of the Kanagon family from Ultra Q, and like they had I think the X Plus Ultraman where he's holding the VTOL, and it was just so awesome. I mean, it was really, really, really cool. Like, the whole day was so much fun. And the reason I'm talking about it right now is because I'm hoping that they do more of these, because I know that they tried to do this in September, but logistically and from an outsider perspective, I could definitely say they didn't do a good job on planning it, because they basically said, we're doing this in September. They announced it at the end of August, and they only gave you like 2 weeks to sign up for it. Plus, it was a 2-day experience, so it was it looked like a lot of money up front. And I actually was like price tag shocked by it at first, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh, actually, they're paying for your hotel, and you're getting some meals in there. It's not that bad, I guess. But blah blah blah. I will fast forward to just say that that didn't happen, that one, in September, and so they announced this in October to happen at the end of November, and it was much cheaper. Like, this whole tour was less than $200 to do.
Oh my god!
And that's great.
Now you had to get yourself up to Fukushima to Koriyama, but then the bus picked you up and then took you around. And we had a lovely lunch, and like this, I'm not kidding, this experience of building the sign, which was just a little fun thing, and then setting up the buildings and all the streets and stuff like that, and like getting the direction from Kiyotaki Taguchi, like, it was really cool. Plus, those monsters are independently created monsters based off of things in Tsukagawa. So it was so fun.
That's awesome, dude.
I really cannot wait to actually sit down and start plugging stuff into my editor and start trying to make something out of it, because it was freaking great. So
I can't wait to see that.
That's a great
that's
one.
number
So
two. Item number 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go real fast for the next one, because where is that? That was yesterday. Basically, even talking about things going on in Japan, yesterday, Lady Kyle and I went to a Godzilla event in Shinjuku in Kabukicho, like right next to the Godzilla Hotel. And they had like the Space Godzilla suit and the 94 suit on display. We got to meet what's his name? She got to meet Chibi Godzilla. And they also have the new 93 suit or 92 suit there as well. So anyway, that's irrelevant, because yesterday morning, Lady Kyle and I were walking the dogs in the park behind the house, right? David remembers that.
I do remember.
We have this,
absolutely.
and she looks down and she's like, oh, what is that? And I was like, in the park, buried in the ground with a root running through it,
What?
I found a Sofubi figure.
No, you didn't. What?
I found a Sofubi figure, or what's left of a Sofubi figure.
Oh
Oh my.
This was in the park. I thought it was so funny that I was like, I'm gonna have to find this. Now,
What?
there was like there was a root that had grown through it, and I had to like rip the little root out. This is not a kaiju figure, obviously,
Ultraman
but
or Ultra
it
7?
was just hilarious that it was there. I did find out who it was because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, so it's got some sort of like breast design, I will say, right there. So it has to be something tokusatsu related. Oh, also look at this. You're not gonna be able to see that, but there's a real.
Oh yeah.
On the foot. There's an old Bandai stamp, one I've never actually seen before.
Oh
That's
my
fun.
gosh, that is
So
freaking cool.
on the train into, I think you're absolutely right, Michael. On the train into Tokyo, I was looking on my phone and I was looking who it would be, and I think it's this one.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly who it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Holy moly!
That
Nice
is
So-
work. Nice. That's really.
I don't think she's worth any money, but like
Yeah, but
Good
she's worth
detective
the
work.
story, man. What a great story to have.
it's so funny. I'm gonna put it on my shelf
Behind your
anyway.
house. Behind your house.
That's fun.
Anyway, there you go. That's my my Showa and tell, and I should stop talking about it and we should move on because we got a whole mess of people here. 43 people here are hanging out and watching us live. Jonathan, because of the issues you're having, do you want me to try and do the chat highlighting?
Let's see how it works because I was able to get things working for a little
Okay.
bit there, so we'll see.
Mr. Chambers, are you ready to check in with the chat room?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Well, take it away, my friends.
All right, here we go. We got Nathaniel Plummer. We got Helmy. Christ. Okay. We got Michael 84 Godzilla. Josh Morshock. Let's see. Colin Mac 57. Michael Hang, of course. Larry Latham. What's going on? D Bakken D Baker. Excuse me. Ray 2D2. Of course, Frank.
What's up, Ray?
What's going on, Frank?
Hey, Frank.
Of course, Johnny K. The Dr. Stank. Oh, I love that name. I ain't gonna lie.
That's funny.
Fancies of Cats. The Kaiju Kingdom podcast.
What's
Let's
up,
see.
Chris?
Kaiju Steve 3395. Of course, Alex Sawyer.
Alex.
What's up, Alex?
D Part 94. What's going on? The Aussie Lighty or Liddy. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's see who else. Sky Hall. What's going on? Let's see who else. Still see the same people.
See Johnny
Frankie.
Cock in there?
Yeah. Johnny K.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny K.
Johnny's
Let's see who else. Toku Tim. What's going on? Jim Gala. Excuse me. Let's see who else. Let's see. Still the same old people. Awesome people, as a matter of fact.
the
The Space Beast. What's going on? Let's see. What's this? AWMCMC4 G4G. Yeah. So thank you. And right now we're at 44 people. So
Oh, there's Richiso. Alex Murdich.
Okay, yeah, Rich is in there. What's going on, Rich? What's going on?
Alex,
Well, he said
good
me.
buddy
That's who
Alex,
else.
too.
He said me. That's who else. BIT. Man, this is a family show. We love you, Rich. But yeah, thank you so much. And again, I hope you got your tissues ready because we're going to be talking about some stuff. So, all right, but that's it. So let's go into the news, shall we?
ready.
We should go into the news, which means I should play our news clip. All right. So Leslie has no news.
I ain't got
right?
nothing. I ain't
No
got
news is
nothing.
good news.
I ain't got
Wait.
nothing. So
No news is Bad
Yeah,
boy.
no news is good news. That's what.
Yeah, that was good news. So,
So good news. No news from Leslie, but
I mean, I switched to Geico. That's about it. But
Hey, save money. Save money by choice.
all right, kick us off, David.
Okay. All right. So I had something that I was going to share with you guys, but then I changed my mind.
Dang.
You know how I feel about these kids. Ibaraki-san does it again. This is a smaller scale. It's kind of the same scale as the minus 27 was kind of confusing. It's some of the posts say 26, some say 27. Let's just go with 27. 27 centimeter, beautiful resin pins and magnets representation of the GMK Godzilla. And I think that this kit, there's not a lot of information. That's why this is so cutting edge. Like, I don't know any release date. I don't know the price or any of that, but we will get that to you as soon as we find out. But I just could not pass up showing this to you guys.
Oh, man.
It's a dynamic pose, and I think it's one open mouth, one closed mouth. And I like this scale for model resin kits. I can bang them out pretty easily. And yeah, I like the closed mouth too. It's just, again, he knocked it out of the park with this sculpt.
Always.
And, it is one that I'm absolutely going to pick up when I find the information on it, because I don't really have a lot of GMK representations, believe it or not, in my collection. I've got some, but not tons.
Oh, that's a good angle.
You know, and Leslie, like I said to you before, when this was announced, I'd be happy to build this for you or Sandra if you're interested in it, because it is one of those ones that I can ship to you safely and securely. And none of my KOC pieces that I built for people have arrived to them damaged in any way, shape, or form. So that's good.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer for me in model building. It's just great, and I would love to see more Godzilla representations in this scale and with this sort of technique and that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm very excited about this piece. And again, anybody who wants this one, hit me up, because this is a resin piece that I can actually do and ship to you safely. So anyway, information on details about this piece when we get them. But until now, feast your eyes on the beauty of this GMK Godzilla.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. GMK does celebrate 25 years next year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle.
Yep.
We're old, man.
Next year's going to be a pretty hot year for all of us. We love the things that we embrace next year, like, a lot. So, Yep. All right, that's it. So we got Miss Chapin. What is your
I agree, Frank.
item that you're going to show off?
Well, I'm very excited. You can still pre-order this now, but Alamo Draft House we finally, because there's all these themed popcorn buckets out and all that, and there's the Kiryu one, but we have a Godzilla 64 popcorn bucket, which I think this looks so awesome. I mean, the 64 suit, a lot of us love that one. And I mean, how much fun is this going to be? So you can get it on the Alamo Draft House website. I think it's like $55.
Oh, Christ.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's just a collectible piece, or I know I should get two. I might get two, one to display and then one to actually use
for your popcorn.
Because how much fun is that? That is so cool. I'm super happy we finally got one of these, because they have the Megan one and the Avatar one and all these other ones, and
it's a show of Godzilla they chose. They chose a show of Godzilla. How cool is that?
Yeah, we always get left out, and now we finally have our own popcorn bucket, and they just announced that there's gonna be a Mega Godzilla popcorn bucket.
Oh my God.
No news. I don't think on when this is coming out. But it should be up for Peter. I think it said early next year.
I think it's March next year.
Oh, is it March?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, March. Yeah, so I'm assuming it'll probably be $55. And I mean, I like that you're able to order these on the website. So I know before you'd have to go to the actual movie theater to get them. But yeah, so keep an eye out. I mean, if you want to order the Godzilla one now, it's a limited run for the Godzilla head. So if you haven't ordered it and you want it, don't wait on it, because I think there was 500 units.
Okay.
Dang, I should have wrote it down. But it is a limited run. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, just go get it. I mean, you'll probably regret it if you didn't. And I can't wait till they're gonna be shipping actually in January. The Godzilla buckets are. So
I have a question, Christine. Question for you, or maybe Jonathan can answer this. Do they have? Where's the nearest Alamo house in California? Is there one here?
There
or
is. It's in. There's actually one in downtown Los Angeles.
Okay, there's one.
It's right near Little Tokyo. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so I got to check it out in person. So maybe
yes, you do.
At the place.
And if you go to San Francisco next year, David, I don't know if you're gonna come for Godzilla Fest, but in Santa Clara, there's the Alamo there because they all have a different theme. But that one's all Godzilla theme, and it looks fantastic.
For sure.
Like,
if I go, definitely make a pilgrimage to see that too, for sure.
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. So Alamo Draft House, go get your Godzilla popcorn bucket. Super cool. All right, Jonathan. I think I saw a sneak peek of what yours is.
Yeah, so did I.
We did unintentionally. We saw a sneak peek. I forgot how many panels were left, but so this one, it's not necessarily in my wheelhouse, but I know how much people love, custom or collectible skateboards. And I have a good buddy of mine who's into skateboarding, and he's a skateboarder. He loves collecting skateboards. I sent this to him, and he was like, I'm definitely going to get this. He's not even like a really big Godzilla fan, but he's like, dude, I have to have these. These are dope looking. And I agree. So Bear Walker did a collaboration with Toho, Attack Peter, and Urban Aztec.
Awesome.
Both of these are in celebration of the 30th anniversary of Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. It sounds so weird to say 30th anniversary of a film. My God. But here we are. These boards are available. Actually, we'll just start going through them individually. We'll go through the Attack Peter Burning Godzilla first, and just the way that these are handcrafted and just the detail on these, incredible. It's in the Attack Peter style.
Yes, it is.
Just phenomenal work.
And there's the smoke swirls again I was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
The smoke swirls.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Each of these boards have custom wheels that have the marking of the said collaborator, which is pretty cool. And so this next one, the Urban Aztec Destoroyah, this one probably is my favorite. I just love the color pops on these, and I love his work in general. And the fact that this is on here is kind of cool because, at some point, I'm guessing, since we already have a design, we'll probably see a figure at some point from Urban Aztec. I'm assuming at some point that'll happen.
And that design lends itself to his style too.
It really does.
Perfect. Yes.
It
really does.
It's just amazing.
Jonathan, good point. It might be a little sneak peek of what's to come.
Oh, absolutely. I hope so, because I might have to get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, these come with the custom wheels with the Urban Aztec marking on it, as well as the Attack Peter one. So these both can be pre-ordered still on the Godzilla Store website. They're a little pricey, but if you're a skateboarder and you're a collector, you might find these are for you. So check them out. They're still up there. I've been checking every day. They haven't sold out. They started going up for pre-order, I believe, a few days ago. Maybe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. But nonetheless, they're still up there. I believe they're around $3.95.
I wonder, Jonathan, if we could purchase them without the wheels. Because I definitely will not be skateboarding because I'll end up in traction in the emergency room. But I would love to display them on the wall because they're that cool, But
super cool! It'd be cool. It'd be cool hang up piece somewhere.
A no wheels discount. Maybe I'll inquire about
a no wheels discount.
A no wheels discount. Yeah, you're probably looking at
no wheels discount. Maybe I could try that out.
All right, so if it's $3.95 without wheels, you're probably looking at $3.40. So there you go.
Oh, that's not good.
But yeah, go check it out on the Godzilla Store website. The Attack Peter and Urban Aztec collaboration with Bear Walker.
Cool collab. I'm loving all these collabs that they're doing because Bear Walker, his skateboards, I've been following him for a while now, and he just does beautiful work on these things. I'm just
100%.
loving seeing all the different collabs that we have going on between people across totally different genres.
This is a good point. Space Beast, the pictures don't do them justice. They're grooved in wood, which is, pretty cool. That's pretty incredible. It makes it very unique in that way. It's not just a print on there, as you can tell, but very cool nonetheless. So
Yeah, if you're
That's
on
it for-
Instagram, there's some nice like reel videos, video reels, whatever. What's the terminology there, Christine? Anyway,
The real, the
yeah,
real.
the reels. There's some real good videos on
Oh, good
Instagram
one.
you can watch about the creation of these, and I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm not like David. I'm not going to be skateboarding anytime soon.
I'll
But
be damned.
it's I used to, man.
I'll be
I used to be a
damned.
skater back in the day before my white beard. And like,
I was never a skater. I was never very good at it. So there's that. I was never very good at it. I wanted to, but
before my white beard, you know,
Before you were Gandalf, yeah.
before I turned into Gandalf, before I became a wizard, I was a skater. I don't know why.
Leslie is losing
It's
it.
cracking him up so much, but I'm happy about it.
It just hit me. I'm sorry. I'll cut my mic off. Hold on.
It's all good.
it's also really cool that the artists behind this stuff, they're really great guys too. Like
Yes.
it
1000%.
really makes it more worthwhile and more special when you know the people behind these pieces are fans and good friends of the show. So that's always a good thing. So please grab one if you can and support
Indeed.
our community.
And I believe that's it for me. Who we on to next? I believe Kyle.
Yeah,
That's me.
That's you.
down there.
In continuation with me talking about all the crazy stuff going on in Japan, there is going to be a Bullmark exhibition in Tokyo.
Wow.
This is actually happening in the same location as the Gamera Expo in the Yurakucho Marui building. So that's taking place January 16th through February 1st. So not long. And this one is organized by the Hakuba Gallery and Mr. Yuji Nishimura from M1. So it should be a pretty incredible event. I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Yuji, he probably will be there. I told the story. I can't remember if I told this on the Gamera stream or not, but I went to the very first opening of the Gamera Expo, and it was essentially a ton of Gamera props from the Heisei era. They had one singular item from the Showa era, and then they had a reproduction Gamera suit from the Showa era on display. But everything else was an actual prop, actual artwork, or a suit from the Heisei.
Wow.
Stuff, and it's Heisei and beyond, I should say, because it's also not just the trilogy, but they had Gamera the Brave, which is also technically Heisei, and also
Goo.
some stuff from Gamera Rebirth, the anime trilogy, the anime as well. And anyway, so I'm going through the whole thing, taking pictures, taking no video because there was a no video allowed, and then I get to the souvenir shop area, and I'm like literally looking at this one section of stuff that's available for sale, and there's a curtain doorway to the left of it, and as I'm standing there, the curtain opens up and Yuji pops out, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Good timing.
And then Michi popped out, and it was like I got to catch up with them super briefly.
That's so great.
Nice.
But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I will probably try and shoot some cool video as well for it. And again, like I'm not a vintage collector, but I definitely can appreciate stuff. In addition to having cool stuff on display, you can get your picture next to one of the old giant store display Jiras Bullmark displays.
Imagine that.
And there will be some stuff for sale as well. It looks like there's going to be there's going to be a series of little Garamon Pigmons available for sale, and who knows what else, because that's how they roll here with those displays. So that's my news item for the episode. I am super stoked about all of this, and I'm super stoked because we're at an hour 9. We're going to go ahead and hit our intermission video and come back in about 2 minutes and talk all about Godzilla versus Destoroyah.
テレビマガジン1月号すごいこちらが恐怖完全なりきりマスク上にもなる核レンジャー超忍法帳かっこいいぞパチパチタートルズもこりゃ面白い核レンジャー秘密100まだまだ楽しさいっぱいだよ全員サービスはなんと核レンジャースーパービデオだテレビマガジン1月号発売中
あれはカブトだいやいやセミだちゃうぞカブトゼミだワンちゃんいやワンガルペリカンいやペリリンかっこいいんだから高徳トイスのいただきメカ新発売
あの怪獣は
今スターと呼ばれた青春だった力の限りの青春だった時は過ぎゆく時代は変わるそれでも僕らは生きてゆく広い社会の片隅でつつましやかに生きてゆくさあ送ってください君の傑作写真をバンダイウルトラ怪獣大変身コンテスト
史上最強パワー炸裂ミニミニマンのお部屋探しもパワー全開
ミニミニあなたのお城はミニミニで
All right, we have returned for. Oh, thank you very much, Space Beast. I hope to eventually add to my collection of cool stuff to show for commercials and stuff like that. But things have gotten a little more difficult to find, like classic commercials and stuff. I love them all, but honestly, I really wish that I could find somebody here that was like an archivist. And I could be like, hey, let's scan some of your classic commercials and stuff like that. But anyway, we're not going to be showing any video content during this section because Toho is super duper paranoid about people showing video footage from Godzilla movies. And we don't want a copyright strike and have another episode pulled from the list of our episodes. So we are here to talk about Gojira Tai Destoroyah, which is of course, the 1995 classic, the end of the Heisei or Versus era of Godzilla movies. A movie that I would say, so here's what I would like to do first. Before we get to the questions and before we get to the collectibles, let's just hear from everybody. When did you first see this movie? And I mean, if you saw it and if you got any interesting stories about your first introduction to this film, let's hear about it. And I'll go ahead and say, Mr. Chambers, when did you first see Godzilla vs. Destoroyah?
I probably saw it when it first came out on DVD to coincide with the 98 Godzilla film. Because when that movie came out,
oh really?
They released they released only just King Ghidorah in I think 92 at first. At that point, I mean Biollante came out in 92, but they didn't do the rest of the Heisei films until like much later. I think either that year or the year afterwards.
98,
yeah. So that's what the first time that I watched it, but I knew about it because when they announced that they were going to kill Godzilla off in this film, it actually made the news on CNN. And that was actually a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I shared it with our private chat a few weeks ago. That was like on par when they announced they were going to kill off Superman. So to see Godzilla get that type of news coverage was at least huge to me. And at the time, I was like a freshman in college. But when I saw it like in one of my dorm rooms one night, I just went crazy. The last time I seen a Godzilla film get that mainstream coverage was when they covered the anti-American crap from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah a few years earlier, But that was my first sign that they were
Great
actually
shots.
still making Godzilla films, because at that time I thought 85 was it, or at least Biollante was it, you know. But I had no idea that this movie and the other Heisei films behind Biollante were coming. But yeah, that was the first time that I remember watching that film, and I heard from people who did watch it that said, you know, it is a tearjerker, and it is, but I'm sure we'll get there later on in this discussion. But that's when I first watched it.
How about you, David?
So I think we were talking about this a little earlier before we came on the air. I was living in New York City in 1995, and I was working at a toy shop on Bleecker Street called Children of Paradise. And 2 doors down was one of the branches of Kim's Underground Video. And one of the things I loved about Kim's is they would get bootleg copies. I know it's not great, from the theater, from the movie theater in Japan, and I would buy them. They were cheap, and I'd buy them because I needed to see it as quickly as I could. And I remember popping it in there, and not a very good quality copy, of course, and all in Japanese, and seeing that opening scene where the water is just kind of high, and I was getting goosebumps seeing it. So I saw it really, really early on, some incarnation of it, a bootleg VHS copy, and then I don't think I saw it legitimately. I can't even remember when I saw it legitimately. It must have been when they released the official release. But yeah, I was naughty and I saw the bootleg copy super early on in 1995. How about you, Christine?
Me, well, I heard about it later as well, not in 95, but I want to say it was before 98 though, because I had it on VHS. So I don't know when the VHS tape would come out. Actually, I still have the tape at Mom's house. But yeah,
I think the original VHS from America dropped in '98. They basically didn't put any of
maybe it was. 'Cause I have
those
the
versus
TV
movies
too.
out until the Matthew Broderick Godzilla was sort of like coming out, and that's when it was like really available.
But I had seen stuff online about it. So, and that's how I knew. I'm like, hey, I don't have this movie. So I must have got it for Christmas or something. But yeah, I got the VHS, and then later on I got when they did the DVD sets, it's like Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and then it comes with, I think, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla was with it. But yeah, it definitely traumatized me. I have my emotional support burning Godzilla with me right now. But literally, like, this movie made such an impression on me because, you know, all of our, you know, childhood watching Godzilla, he was like, he's never been defeated. Godzilla vs. King Kong, I'm going to say that's not going to count. It was a tie. But, you know, and then all of a sudden I watch this and I'm like, he's not going to die. It's probably just some, you know, thing to make us. No. And no, I literally watched it 2 days ago and I still cry. And I think because for me, like, I associate, like, when I hear or see things that had a big impact on me when I was younger, like, I automatically start crying. So I hear the music. I can't even listen to the dang Requiem song because I'm like, oh my God. But I was like, oh my gosh, that was very, what's the word? It wasn't traumatizing, but it was very, like, you know,
depressing.
I did not expect that. Like, he literally
It was
melts.
affecting for sure.
Yes, melts on in front of your face. Like, this creature that I've watched my whole life go unstoppable, you know, and all that. I'm like, oh my God. And I thought that was the end. I'm like, there's going to be no more
Oh, it's never the end.
Godzilla movies. And you know what's funny? I always was so confused at the end because I didn't know that was Junior reborn at the end. I thought it was like a dream where they were like, I'm like, oh, this is a teaser for maybe he's not dead. And I had no idea for years that was Junior.
Are you serious?
Reborn. I never clicked in my little, how old was I in 95? What, 11?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Stop it right there. So Christine, point of clarification. You were mentioning about Godzilla was defeated, never got defeated in all of his other battles. He still didn't get defeated. He melted down from the excess radiation from
he died.
Earth Island. So he didn't get defeated, but he died. But no one defeated him. He defeated himself.
His own body defeated him,
yeah.
arguably.
Betrayed him.
I guess what I'm going to say is, like, he's never died.
No, I got you, but no, you know, nothing could defeat him, even in this film.
Well,
He
King
just
Kong
thumbs
did,
down.
but we ain't having that conversation.
Actually,
Okay.
Let's wait for John to get back for that one.
Mothra kind of, kicked his butt too in '64, but yeah, it was just very shocking, very shocking. Like I didn't believe it when I heard about it, and then I was like, oh, and then I was very confused at the end because I'm like, who's this? Not knowing that it was Junior. I don't know. I was 11. I don't know what I was doing.
Okay, all right.
All right, Jonathan, how about you?
Well, first of all, I love conversations like these. It really brings me back. Like you, Christine, I get very emotional when I think about things from the past. I think it's something about, I don't know what it is about millennials. Like I always say that like we're very nostalgic for like the 90s, and it's so true. At least in my mind, I guess you could say my first interaction with this film was ironically through Barry's Temple of Godzilla. When I first started surfing the net, when we got our computer back in it was mid 95 or so, I saw, or no, it was actually 96 actually by the time we got that computer. But anyway, I was perusing through this site. I was just in awe because I just typed in Godzilla. It was like the first big site that came up. And there was a section where they had video clips. There were just these little GIFs, of little microseconds of images from shots from the film. One of the ones I remember distinctly seeing when I went through all the Heisei ones, and at this point, I didn't know the Heisei movies existed because we didn't have, until internet, we didn't really know what was going on outside, and I didn't have bootlegs. I didn't have access to anything remotely where it'd be newsworthy in my small town, so I was relying on the internet for a lot of this stuff early on. And I remember seeing all the clips of King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla 2, Space Godzilla, and my mind was blown. Absolutely blown. I was like, wait, these are movies? Wait, where can I see these? When can I see them? I was freaking out. And then I see the one shot of Godzilla shooting out his red, yellowish beam out of his mouth, in the water at night. And I was blown away, shocked, in awe. I was speechless. And then I remember seeing when the 98 film was about to come out a few years later, there was an ad in Suncoast, and they were going to be releasing, TriStar was going to be releasing the 90s films. First, it was going to be the two pair of King Ghidorah and Mothra, which I got on the day of release. And then a couple months later, they would come out with Mechagodzilla 2. And then the next year, early in 99, I remember it very distinctly, in early 99, I got those VHS tapes for Space Godzilla 1 month and Destoroyah the next month, and I finally got to watch it for the first time on VHS. And it's this exact VHS. And I was enthralled, and from the beginning to the end, I was in love. And like Christine says, the end, I really, because I do remember that we were talking about this the other day, Leslie, when you posted that video of the CNN clip. I remember my mom seeing that on the news, and she yelled up at me from upstairs. She's like, "Jonathan, come down quick!" I ran downstairs, and I saw the tail end of what would be behind the scenes shots. It was like the director frantically directing Godzilla and Destoroyah together on the set, and I was like, "What? What is this?" It was like Godzilla dies was on the lower third. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way you're going to kill Godzilla. No way.
Right.
Then we watched the movie, and I'm like, Godzilla dies. Wow. Shocker. So everything about this movie, I love. The music, the sort of the bookend of the 90s, the characters, the atmosphere it creates, everything about it just kind of, I just get this warm feeling inside. And that's all I can say for me. I guess I'm getting into further territory here. But before I go any further, Kyle, what about you?
Well, Jonathan, what's funny to me is you and I have a very similar situation for how this movie came into or at least how the Heisei movies came into my periphery, because it wasn't until I thought Biollante was the last one they made. Mm-hmm. I wasn't tied into any Godzilla fandoms or anything like that at the time, and so when I got on the internet in 1996, maybe late 95, I got onto Barry's Temple of Godzilla, also found there's a whole slew of movies being made. and which I also then additionally found, I think, Video Daikaiju, and ended up getting getting those on VHS myself. Now, what I will say that's a bit different is that I was in college at the time, and so I was in the video department. I was a video major, and so I was in the video department, and we had a screening room there in the building. And so when I bought Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, I knew it was what they called a theater copy, which means that someone literally sat down in the theater with a video camera. Kids, this is called movie theft back in the day, but at the time I had never experienced anything like this. But so yeah, someone filmed the movie, and you can totally hear like people coughing in the theater, and like someone gets up and walks past the camera at one point.
Exactly. That's my experience.
And so I put this thing on in the screening room at our college, and I was like, it was an amazing experience to me to be able to see this thing, for one, because it had just come out. There were no subtitles, no nothing. It was like really interesting to me to like try and figure out, like piece together. And I knew nothing about what they were saying. I knew no Japanese at the time. So it was definitely like this whole kind of like, I have to just kind of guess what's happening in the film. And that was my first experience watching it. And then of course, later on it was put out again in bootleg form, but with subtitles, and I was able to see it. And then later on, I did of course purchase the actual version. But yeah, that's my introduction to Godzilla versus Destoroyah. And actually, what I will also say is that with Barry's Temple of Godzilla, one of the things that his website had that was just so phenomenal, especially at the time, was a lot of artwork that, that would people in Japan would have seen a lot of it, but like over in America, I guess if you were plugged into like GFan at the time, they might have had some of this stuff in the magazines. But this poster right here was on his website, and I was like, what is this? This looks so cool. And it was what drew me in. The Orai artwork really, really drew me in. So that's my introduction to the film. I think what we want to do now is we want to sort of like basically just kind of go into the questions.
Before we
right?
go into that, I want to say one thing about we all talked about what our first experience was seeing this movie, right? But I'll give you a little bit of a different perspective here, because this is something I just remembered as you were going through your experience. Back in 1998, and I'm sure you guys all remember this, Crescendo Music released an album, a two-part album, a two-disc album. One of them was the Showa era films compilation. The other one was the Heisei era films compilation. And I remember this day sticking that CD in the CD player. And this probably, now I'd seen that little clip on that little GIF by now, but I hadn't seen anything of the movie. I listened to the score or some of the score before I saw the film. So hearing the classic Godzilla theme, the classic Godzilla track from that first premiered in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster in its purest form, that is done in a more darker, slowed down, tribalistic, echoey tone. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, this is from Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, but it's darker and it's slower, it's more intense. What is this? This is the beginning of the movie? I can only imagine what the rest of the movie is going to be. And then hearing Requiem, I was like, oh God, this is depressing. But I was like getting so emotional just by hearing it.
Music does that to you, and
music does that to you.
That elevates movies from other movies. It sets them apart.
The score is such a unique, weird thing that like. But here's another thing that you guys you might know or might not know. Right before these films came out, or it was announced they were coming out in my area, the local one of the pay-per-view stations, a good friend of mine had a bunch of pay-per-view stations. And he saw on the listing, whether it was legal or not, probably not legal, They showed Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
Wow.
And then they showed Destoroyah. But it was marked as Destroyer on the TV on the listing.
I remember that. Yep.
As it was on Barry's Temple Godzilla, because at the time that's what it was. It was dubbed as Destroyer before they're like, oh yeah, we can't copyright Destroyer. We gotta change it up. But I remember my buddy handing me a VHS tape in school, like my freshman year. He's like, "Here, take this home with you." I put it in, and it's like the beginning of Mechagodzilla 2, that main title, and I was like, "What?" I watched the whole thing, commercial free, right? Probably a bootleg, not like a bootleg, but like someone illegally showed it on the pay-per-view station. And then Destroyer started playing. I maybe got through like the first couple minutes. I fell asleep, and but then I had to give it back to him the next day. He's like, I have to have it back the next day because my dad doesn't know I gave this to you, and he's obsessed. And so I had to give it back to him without seeing the rest of it. So I only saw like the intro of the movie. I'm like, what's the rest of the movie? I couldn't. It wasn't like till 2 years later, or like a year later, that I could see it. But it was still, a small little detail. But I love little stories like this. It's just fun, listening to people's experiences.
Right on. Excellent. Well then, let's go ahead and go into the questions. And actually, super fast, real quick. Someone at some point mentioned the news about this sort of like Godzilla dies coming to America and being reported on by America in certain news outlets. Chris Mowry, who used to work for Toho and also used to work for IDW Publishing, had the San Diego newspaper's article, but it wasn't just like the article itself. I think he actually purchased like the print material that they used to actually like do the actual newspaper print. So he had that framed in his office. And while I was doing Kaiju Castery stuff, I interviewed John Layman, who is the writer of Gangsters and Goliaths, that IDW series. And it turned out that that's the dude who actually wrote that article. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Wow. I was like, my buddy has that framed up on his wall. Anyway.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I love it that, Godzilla information has, made its way to American broadcast, even during a time where like we weren't seeing these movies come to like the theaters or officially released.
Yeah, a good friend or a guy that I work with. He's head of our film division. He used to work for a separate company back in the '90s, and he would go to these press junkets in these agencies who were, they were doing these big calls and to distribute films. And Toho came with Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and he remembers watching it, and he wanted to buy it, but like no one. He said no one was interested. Absolutely nobody that was there was interested. Everyone shot it down. And there were things going on at the time. The global climate between the two was rough. That probably had a lot to do with it. But I remember telling me, he's like, no one wants to buy this thing. We could do it right now for cheap. And they're like, nope, no one wants to buy it.
Wow.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our questions, because each one of us has come up with a question for the other co-hosts. And also, you guys watching as well, feel free to drop an answer into the comments section, or not the comments section, the actual live chat of the show. And we'll do our best to show some of these off on the actual screen. But we're going to start with Mr. Chambers here, whose question is, take it away, Leslie.
Yes, Godzilla dies. Do you feel that Toho marketing, advertising, and basically building the film around Godzilla's death actually helped or hurt the film looking back 30 years later? Are we answering the questions like this?
I think go ahead and answer your own question.
Okay,
and then we'll go around the room.
All right. Because again, I enjoy this film, but I have to admit I do have a love-hate relationship with this movie. There's some things about it that I absolutely love that I can't bring myself to hate it, but there's some things in there that leave me scratching my head where I can't fully love it. It kind of walks that line, and just one of those questions. When I ask questions, I absolutely hate where you choose both answers. But honestly, I have to say,
really,
don't do it. Don't do it.
I have to say,
Oh, he's going there. He's going there.
Do as I say, not as I do, right, Leslie? Okay.
I have to say, I'm not notorious as you, but still. But this is the one time I have to break this rule. Now, when I break it down, you'll understand. I think at the time when the movie came out in '95, it helped. It got people into the movie theaters. It got people to see it. It created awareness that Space Godzilla didn't get, honestly. But I do feel like, looking back on it, that it did help the film, and it did make it the second highest grossing film of the Heisei series behind Mothra. So I think that, again, with the CNN coverage, and the fact they announced that Godzilla is actually dying after so many years. Now, he died in the first movie, but that was way before he became the pop culture icon that he was in 1995, around that point. So I think it hurt. I mean, it helped the film. It really did help the film, and it created that buzz that got people to watch the film. Looking back 30 years later, I think it was one of the biggest mistakes that they could have ever done. Because even Kyle, when we talked about it when we did our brainstorming episode, I think a couple years ago, and we were talking about brainstorming ideas for this show, even Kyle mentioned, and he said it so perfectly, that Destoroyah as a monster does not even feel necessary, because really the real threat in the movie is not Destoroyah, it's Godzilla's meltdown. I felt like by them advertising Godzilla's death, it hurt Destoroyah. It hurt him so bad, because again, the Austrian Destroyer didn't make Destroyer; it mutated him. And in a lot of ways, he's like a dark reflection of Godzilla, a creature that already existed but got mutated by a ruthless man-made weapon. And I've always thought that Destroyer deserves so much more, because again, the Austrian Destroyer, a weapon that is not bigger than a duffel bag, rendered all life in Tokyo Bay dead. And look up Tokyo Bay, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been to Japan or look on a map, it is not a small body of water. It's not a stream. It's not a lake. It's not a river. It is a big ass body of water, and a weapon the size of a duffel bag killed all life in that area. So can you imagine what a 300-foot plus tall monster with the power of that weapon could do? But when you watch Destroyer, do you feel that way about him?
Mm-mm.
Is he positioned like the Thanos, like the posters and the hype for it was, So that's why
I feel like his hype is there, for sure. But the actual impact of the monster, I agree.
Yeah. So that's why I say that yes, it did both. It helped at the time, but now looking back 30 years later, it hurt. And I think Destroyer as the monster was the biggest victim of that. So that's why I say it did both. David, what about you? How do you feel?
Wow, this is a very interesting question. And so before I answer it, Kyle, I actually my answer was wrong. I didn't see it when it was released officially. I saw it from Video Daikaiju, because I knew I saw it soon after. I didn't wait that long to see it, so I did see it on Video Daikaiju. But
cool people like Kim had the
right.
connection
That's
to
right.
Video Daikaiju.
Yes, they sure did. So I start off by saying I'm actually really, again, Leslie and I are kind of on the same page about this film. I really love it, but there's aspects of it that I don't love. I think they missed some opportunities, and they did some amazing things. So having said that, I think that it absolutely 100% helped it 30 years ago. And because Toho wanted to put a cap on their Heisei series. This is the grand finale, and you can't just squeak by a grand finale. I think something epic had to happen, and Godzilla's death is about as epic as you could possibly get. And there was a lot of farewells along with this film, and Ifukube passed away soon after it, and anyway, it felt right to me. It felt like it was the time for Godzilla to end. And like I said, it was the perfect way to end a very successful series. And the audience seemed to agree because, as you said, it did very well at the box office. I think that it still helps 30 years later. I don't think that I think that it's still great because I like things to end while they're still on a high note. I don't like things to get dragged out. I didn't want to see, okay, enough of Godzilla. I wanted people to have Godzilla die on a high note. Like they're still interested. There's still a lot of buzz around Godzilla. So again, a reason that they made the right decision. And also it's like I disagree with you, Leslie. I think that, Godzilla Destroyer is just a part of the film. The film is about Godzilla's death. Destroyer is just a part of the film, and I think the focus should have been more on Godzilla at the end. I think the battle between Destroyer and Godzilla should have happened seen earlier, and then Godzilla melts down all by himself. I didn't like the watered down aspect of the military shooting him and Destroyer just dying. It was too abrupt for me. I wanted more of a dramatic emphasis on Godzilla's death. You see what I'm saying? So I think, yes, they did it right. Did they do it perfectly the way I wanted to see it? Not really. I like I said, I wanted that to be drawn out. I wanted that to be the focus of the film. And again, Destroyer, to me, the opposite of what you said, took away from Godzilla's epic demise. And I think that is a missed opportunity for me because and then actually my solution helps both causes because Destroyer would have got his own ending, right? And then Godzilla gets his later on, one scene later, and then even Christine, you bring up a good point that it wasn't like hit home that was Godzilla Jr.'s reincarnation. Godzilla should have melted down right by Godzilla Jr., even though maybe he did, but it wasn't obvious in the film. So again, I'm looking at this with a lens, a modern lens of the things that I would have liked to have seen. So yeah, I think that it helped then and it helps now. I think they should have executed it with a little bit more finesse for me. And that's why I love these discussions because we all come at it from a different perspective. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it down to Ms. Chapin. What did you think?
Well, in regards to the question, did it help or hurt the film when they announced it beforehand? I think it definitely helped because it created a ton of hype. Like, I never have expected or would have ever expected for Godzilla to die. So I know that when they announced that, obviously it brought in the attention of maybe older fans who hadn't seen any of the more recent movies, but it did create a big boom. I mean, if it made it all the way over here to the news, that's a pretty big deal. So back then, I think it definitely helped that they announced it. And I don't know. I think now it still helps. But David, I do agree with you because when I watched this again the other day, I really wish that because Destoroyah, like, oh my God, his appearance in his final form, he just looks like this giant demon. So I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more of a drawn out battle between Godzilla and Destroyer because, like you said, at the end, he kind of just fell out of the sky and exploded. And I was like, oh, that was a little, because he was massive. So I was, I would have liked to seen a better fight scene between them. And maybe, it was shocking for me to see when he did his horn slash through Godzilla. And I was like, oh my God. And, he's like, cut him almost in half. I thought he cut him in half. I remember when I first saw it. I was like, what? But yeah, because they built him up throughout the whole movie. He's a living version of the Oxygen Destroyer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so immediately whenever he does his ray, things should have been just dying everywhere, but they didn't. But,
exactly.
Yeah, because he's the he was created and built from the Oxygen Destroyer. Because the whole time they're talking about building one, we're going to make an Oxygen Destroyer to kill Godzilla, and then the guy's like, oh well, it's already here, but in animal form, which was awesome idea. I loved that.
It was great.
They brought it back in a fresh new way in a kaiju, which, oh man, that was just a genius idea. So I love that, but he should have been more ferocious and unstoppable and
Like the stakes should have been
undefeatable.
higher for humanity with Destoroyah.
Right. Like
I agree
they
with
were so
that.
worried about Godzilla melting down. I'm like, maybe you should be worried about this death, kaiju that's coming. That's they should have. But as far as the announcements of them announcing that he's going to die, I don't think it. I don't know. I don't think it hurt the film at all. But there's things in the film that could have been better. I love the movie. I love it. I love the thing that I really want to see it in a theater because I love the loud and the very deep guttural roars of Destoroyah and Godzilla in this movie. It's very, even when I watch it just on my TV, you can hear the difference. It has like a lower undertone with Godzilla roaring, and then Destoroyah just has that, oh my gosh. I love his roar, and I want to see it in like a movie with like huge surround sound system just booming. I love it.
IMAX.
But yes, IMAX. I just even like I said, even watching my TV, like it shakes the TV because of the low bass of their roars. It's just great. But yeah, I would have liked to see more of Destoroyah have a better death.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He exploded. I was like, oh, nobody cared.
And I think you're
basically
sort of
just went off.
I think you're sort of agreeing with me because the two deaths were so close together, you couldn't really. It took away from each other. You know what I mean? Like basically minutes soon after Destoroyah has his, very unceremonious death, Godzilla melts down. It's like, let's have some transition between the two and have it more so it's not like one scene, make it two scenes. So I think that was a huge missed opportunity, and that would have given Destoroyah a more dignified death because it wasn't followed up by or one-upped by Godzilla's meltdown. And I think that's what Leslie was saying too, in a way. It kind of took away from Destoroyah's death. And again, that's just it's a small criticism looking back, but this is what we're here talking about.
We lost Christine.
Lost Christine. Okay.
I didn't do it this time. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I'm broken up about it.
Leslie, let's get psychically.
Okay, so Jonathan, what about you, man? How do you feel about Godzilla dies and it's being part of the advertisement for the film?
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Oh, there she is. She's back.
Damn it!
Let's bring her back in.
Destoroyah got
Welcome
me.
back.
She's back.
She's back.
Destoroyah got me. My phone died. I forgot to plug it in.
You left just as abruptly as Destoroyah dies in the damn movie.
Yes. That's my point. Yeah.
I dropped that oxygen destroyer, but I don't even remember where I left off at. But I'll just pass it on to you now, Jonathan.
No worries. Well, what can I say that hasn't already been said? I feel like everyone has hit some really important marks. I would say in the short term and the long term, it helped. There's nothing that's better than for marketing a film than trying to get butts and seats and creating a buzz for financials. And to get that title out there, that Godzilla dies, that log line, that tagline, it's eyebrow raising. And people that maybe won't really be interested in Godzilla or haven't watched it, they'll go see it too. So you're ticking a lot of boxes there, not just the fans, but you're ticking, some people that may not have general interest and might be curious or something like that. Mm-hmm. I do think, though, in the long term, I mean, when you're advertising Godzilla dies, it can only be good for the short term because when you're going to sell a movie, you want people to go see it, and it worked. It made money. It got people to go see the movie. It was a good finale to leap off from. But for the long term, I think for people that maybe will see this down the road that don't really know or haven't had that experience, maybe it might be a little diluted for them. Don't know, but I would say more than not, it helped. I do agree with you guys that the execution of how Destoroyah dies and sort of the way that they came to that decision is confusing and a little abrupt. It's almost like they put all their eggs in Godzilla dying in that basket. So other things were a little maybe secondary to importance at the end, but it could have been drawn out and paced better. You could have had Godzilla have his moment more, for sure. So I agree with you guys on all those sentiments. You know, hearing Ifukube's score at the end there with Requiem is just icing on the cake. It's even without knowing or with knowing, you'd still be as emotional with that with a piece like that. So it worked to great effect. I think it worked to great effect ultimately, but the lead up and the build up, maybe it bit them in the butt long term because of the execution of the ending. That could have set people like a little underwhelmed. Like, oh well, you know, you build up this whole thing and Godzilla dies, and then, you know, some people might think it's a little more of a puff than like a explosion.
I can see
so
that.
Exactly
it kind of goes both ways on there.
Exactly.
So you're right, and then like Leslie, there is really kind of no way to not say both in one way or another, because they both affect each other in a way.
Yeah.
They're the cause and effect. So that's what I've got to say about it. What about you, Kyle?
Okay, so I kind of am taking this from a different perspective on this, because for me, I think I did see Godzilla Dies really early on in the marketing materials. Not early on in like for when the movie was coming out, but like earlier before I saw the movie. And you know, as I watch movies today, I guess I would say, as I try to experience movies today, I have abandoned the idea of watching trailers. I just don't do it. These days,
That's true.
If I'm set in my ways. I don't need convincing to go see a movie, right? So if there's a movie that's coming out that I already am like, oh yeah, well, it's, you know, genre X, I'm going to go see it. I don't need marketing materials. I just need to know the movie's coming out. And so for me, I am taking this on a sort of a different direction to say, like, Godzilla Dies. When he died, that was such an impactful scene, or it was, you know, it was intended to be such an impactful scene, and it was to me. But had they not used Godzilla Dies, I would have really enjoyed the I don't know, enjoyed isn't the right word, but I think it would have been even more impactful when he did actually melt down in the movie.
Know it was coming.
Right, if I didn't know it was coming. Now, on the flip side of that, like sort of what you guys are talking about, I know that they filmed some more footage where Godzilla and Destoroyah had some even more visceral battles. And so I agree with you that like the way the last scenes played out could have been done better. Could have been, the impact could have been different if and hopefully better for everybody if, you know, Godzilla did make Destoroyah explode himself, like, and then because of that rage and explosion from Godzilla, which did sort of happen, like that's what kicked off his actual meltdown, and then the rest of the movie I'm fine with. But like I just think like to actually have the death scene be a surprise would have been,
I see that point,
absolutely amazing as a movie, as an audience member. But I understand you got to hype stuff up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. No, that's a really
What if they would have done a question mark? Godzilla dies?
No, because I think that's still sort of like,
well,
that's sort of like puts the expectation there. And like for me and again, I'm using this sort of like similar to what David was saying. I'm using this as like a what if in a modern sense, where like I'm not a movie trailer watcher. In 1995, I would have watched every trailer for that movie. I would have watched if I had seen it on the television coverage of it, I would have been like, oh my gosh, you know, and like watched all of that stuff. But but yeah, right now, today, I wish they had not put it in there just to you know, as the hypothetical what if, like, how would that have impacted me anyway?
I never thought about it that way. That's really, really interesting. And Kyle, it would have been absolutely feasible that we wouldn't get any spoilers because it wasn't the age of spoilers. We would have gone to or seen it on whatever where we saw it and not known what was going to happen because the internet was fledgling and there was no social media. So that kind of thing, it would have been entirely possible, maybe for the last time, to go into that film not knowing what the outcome was going to be. And I'd never thought of it that way. That's really quite interesting. And I got to think about that more. Excellent.
Cool. Well, David, guess what? You're up next with your question.
Oh, my question. Okay. All right. So do you feel the addition of Momoko Kochi reprising her role as Emiko Yamane went far enough to tie in the nostalgic continuity with the original film? And the second part is, should they have included Akira Takarada as well? Now, I'm pretty sure everybody within the sound of my voice knows how I'm going to respond to this, being a huge Showa fanatic. And I take issue from Jonathan saying that the millenniums are nostalgic. I think us guys are pretty nostalgic too. Nostalgia is strong no matter what generation it is. Because
I never said specifically. I just said for me.
You said millenniums. You did say millennium, but that's okay. I have huge nostalgia for these films, and that's why I collect what I collect. Let's just put that out there. And the fact that one of the best Godzilla film ever made, the 1954, arguably, is tied directly into the finale of the Heisei series, elevates it to a point that is beyond recognition for me. I think that part of it makes me sort of give a pass to some of the things that I don't absolutely love, like Leslie was pointing out. There's a lot of things that I let slide because they had enough insight to give fan service to those of us who had been watching these films since we were kids. I think that was so great, and I love the fact that they actually introduced new characters directly related to the first film. I mean, we had Kenichi Yamane, and we also had Yuraki Yamane.
Yukari.
They were the actual offspring of Shinkichi, whose family died on Odo Island when Godzilla destroyed their home. And he was later adopted by the Yamane family. So in essence, he was Emiko's brother, So that's why they called her auntie. Mm-hmm. And I think that tie-in that we get people who were affected Godzilla way back when in this new movie, to me, elevated it to a point that I didn't even think possible. And again, I don't understand why they didn't put Takarada in there. I mean, even if it was a flashback, it's a huge missed opportunity. I mean, he is synonymous with these films. And I'm not even going to get into the did he ask for too much money or he wasn't available? I call BS. They could have done it if they wanted to. And I think that if he was in it as well, it would have elevated it to a point where I wouldn't even cared about the things I didn't love. I think that the reprisal of these roles, the tie-ins to the original 54 film, make it so amazing and make it better than it actually would have been if they decided not to do that. Just like bringing Ifukube back to reprise some of the Godzilla themes that he created for the original film, and he tweaked them a little bit and made them a little bit more impactful and more powerful. But that's my answer, and you can tell I'm very passionate about this because I love continuity and I love nostalgia, and I think that, yes, absolutely, it's an opportunity to not have Takarada, and yes, it elevated the film greatly to have Momoko Kochi reprise her role as Emiko. Wow. Okay, now I'm tired. Mm-hmm. How about you, Leslie?
Yeah, you already know how I feel because we've had this conversation, but I think it's a crying shame that Takarada wasn't involved. And it's funny because I was watching the the DVD. I got the Toho Blu-ray movie of Destroyer, and honestly, I just watched it in its entirety because honestly, I had a hard time watching it after Satsuma died. Like that was the movie that I really couldn't go back to. I was fine with the rest of the Heisei series, but that one in particular, I had a hard time going back to. But I did watch it just recently in preparation for this show, and if you got that Blu-ray, it's a great Blu-ray and it has some great behind-the-scenes footage, whatever. But there's also a special where Akira Takarada is hosting, and the other psychic girl, not Mickey, but the other one. They're like hosting and talking about the behind the scenes stuff. I can imagine that's what they're saying because it's all in Japanese. And they have a sit down interview not only with those two, but they also bring in Emiko. And Emiko and Akira Takarada, Ogata, are sitting right next to each other doing a behind the scenes documentary about Godzilla vs. Destroyer. But why couldn't he be in Godzilla vs. Destroyer?
Amen.
That is the one thing that I wish they would have addressed. What happened to Ogata? They show him in the flashback footage, but what happened? Did they ever get married? Did he pass away? Like, that was the one thing I wish they would have addressed, but they never did. Like, that's one thing I wish they would have gone further with. Everything else, I'm fine with the tie-ins to the 54. Also selfishly, I do have to admit this. I know Robert Dwyer's in the chat. He may not appreciate this, but I do kind of wish that Raymond Burr was a part of it just a little bit. But unfortunately, he passed away in 1993. So, but it would have been nice to have Steve Martin.
I wouldn't have been mad at that. I would not have been mad at that at all.
It would have been nice to have Steve Martin and Emiko have a conversation. Also, a missed opportunity. Why couldn't we get a scene with Momoko Kochi and Megumi Odaka? Like the first Godzilla girl talking with the current Godzilla girl. Like, why couldn't we get a scene like that? Like, and they were right there in the same movie. Now, granted, Emiko has a cameo, but it would have been nice to see how the first Godzilla girl would have, talked with the current Godzilla girl, So I think it did okay, but at the same time, that Ogata thing really it irks me. Like, even to this day, it just irks me. Like, why? Like, I want an explanation. Like, did the only thing I can think of, maybe Takarada didn't want to do it, but at the same time, he did a documentary for the movie. But it would have been nice just to have that small little cameo for Ogata.
Cameo.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Leslie, you make an excellent point that again, both you and Kyle, you're making me think, because how cool would it be to see Steve Martin interact with Emiko for real, not just in like different clips? That would have been that would have blew my mind, because they only interacted through, the film. They were never in the same room together, obviously, but to have them in the same room talking about, oh yeah, you're in the hospital, that would have blown this guy's mind right here. Okay, good. You guys are awesome. Yes.
That's it.
All right. So let's hear, I guess, what Christine has to say.
All right. Well, hopefully this is working now. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I had to switch to my laptop. My phone died. So, oh, thank you. Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, I remember when I first watched this, I was like, oh my gosh, so glad they brought her back. Yeah, I did. I remember I was disappointed that Takarada wasn't there, because, like Leslie, you said, like, what had happened between the first movie and this one? Did they get married? Did he die? They never even made a mention to his character at all, except for in the flashback. So we didn't get anything. But no, I loved the nostalgic factor was huge on that for me. I loved seeing her in there. I wish she maybe had a little bit bigger of a role in the film.
Absolutely.
She's kind of just not played off, but like wasn't as involved in it as I would have liked. I would have loved to see her working more with the doctors on the Oxygen Destroyer, and she was giving warnings, don't build it, don't do all this stuff, and I would have liked to have seen her more involved in that kind of aspect. But yeah, I think Takarada definitely should have been in there. That would have been amazing, or at least some sort of reference to what had happened to them. Then David, like you said, I loved how they had Shinichi's offspring in there. And then one thing I also loved, every time I watch the movie, I'm like, oh, I love this part. It's just a background prop, but the skeleton from Dr. Yamane's office.
Yes, that's continuity, huge continuity right there.
He has it in here because that was always something that stood out to me in the 54 film. Like, I love this Stegosaurus skeleton he's got. And yep, they brought it back and they had it back there.
Well, apparently, Christine, Emiko still lived in her father's house. That was supposedly her father's house still.
Was it?
And if you look out the window, the palm trees outside, it's exactly the same as it was in. There she is. Oh, I love her so much. Yeah, I mean, it's supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, she still lived in her father's house. So,
right. Well, that's
and that was his lab or his office, and I guess she just kept it the way it was after he passed away.
Yeah, I loved seeing that skeleton. I was like, oh my gosh, I want one of those in my collection room.
Someone should make that.
I know. Well, that's what I was
I
thinking.
bet Cast has made it.
I bet they have. You're right, Kyle. I bet they have. Yep.
Yeah,
Yamane skeleton. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and I did like how, she had the photo of Serizawa, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, she has a photo of Serizawa on her bookshelf, but I'm like, I didn't really see one of Takarada.
Yeah, we still don't know. Maybe she regretted her decision after all. Like, we want to know these things.
Like,
damn floozy.
I was waiting for that, Leslie.
That damn floozy.
I was waiting.
Daggone hoe. She knew better than that.
But it's doubly sad because she ends up alone in the end, and that's very tragic.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
There's no one with her now. Her father's passed away. Her brother Shinkichi passed away, and we don't know what happened to Ogata, but we know Serizawa sacrificed himself. So
yeah,
I'm getting depressed talking about it.
I know. Jonathan Portman, I'm curious to hear your take on this.
Well, I agree with you guys from the aspect of like emotional, nostalgic, all that. He should have been a part of it. He was a big character after all in the original, so why is he not in there? I do think, and this is very loose, this doesn't really make much sense, but the only thing I can think of from the creative side on the production is that they were like, well, he was already in a previous film as another character. And I know you guys are going to say, but I'm going to say, I don't agree with it, but I can see their thought process behind having other characters kind of come in. And yes, we had the one fairy come in as a new character in this movie from Mothra Godzilla versus Mothra, but she's such a different character in this that I actually never caught that. I never caught that those are the same actors from those movies. And I think they dressed her up different enough that it maybe felt like a different character, and she wasn't really that big of a part of a movie. But Takarada, what they should have done is had at least like a picture or something. Like, it should have been referenced at least. Like, did he pass away unexpectedly? I don't know, radiation, something. Give us an explanation of some sort. But I do agree that it was a missed opportunity to have him in the movie, and it would have added so much more weight to that character and to the movie itself. And I do think the both of them could have had some great scenes together. If the character was still alive, they could have had some really wonderful scenes together. Could have been more a part of the movie. We could have. I feel like we could have done with more of those two, rather than some of the other characters we did get. Because I didn't think
100%.
those characters were as impactful or relatable to the story, even though there was like the relation, the offspring and all that. But I just did not. It just didn't do anything for me. I would have much rather, because when we see Emiko come back, I was like, my eyes lit up. I was like, wow, this is a beautiful moment. And I got chills.
I got choked
seeing
up.
the flashbacks.
I got choked
and I'm
up.
like, man, imagine if that character wasn't just like, all right, well, bye, see you later. And more actually involved in the film itself as a character would have been, I think, more. Imagine Emiko watching Godzilla die. Like, there. Sort of like that moment that you see
for a second time.
For the second time. Well, remember, that whole scene from I'm already thinking about 84 at the end, where you see the prime minister looking on as Godzilla's, falling in the volcano. I like it in something like that where it's, you get in a similar vein, you see the emotion in her eyes of like the relief, but also, there's a catharsis there that could take place. I mean, they missed a deep emotional opportunity there. So yeah, I agree with you guys.
Point. That would have been great, Jonathan. That would have been a way to keep her in it more without actually her being like really involved. Like just have her watching it. Like just have her. That's a great point. You guys are bringing up some good points here. I love it.
What about you, Kyle?
Well, I'll be real quick about this. I think because you guys have pretty much said the answer that I have. Yes, I think it would have been awesome to have Takarada. I don't know if somebody was like, well, he was already in these other movies. Why would he be the same character? But, playing to Leslie's scenario of Ogata and Emiko, I think that after... Here's my headcanon now. I think after 54, she was so devastated by Serizawa's sacrifice that she was like, man, you ain't that. And she dumped Ogata and kicked him to the curb.
Maybe.
And in that headcanon, why would he even be there? But I completely agree with you that it would have been awesome to have like a little get together.
The drama.
Well, your scenario might be true, Kyle.
The gossip.
There was no photos of him in her house.
Yeah.
What if there was one and she just put it down? She's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or that where she was like,
I don't like that scenario, but it could be likely. I don't care for it. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, I don't really have anything better to say, so let's go ahead and move on.
Turn this into the real world over here.
I mean,
the real world of
right? Okay, here's Christine's question.
Oh yes. Aside from obviously the death scenes, which tore us all up to pieces, what scene or scenes impacted you the most? Or not even impacted you as like an emotional way, but like really like when you think of this film, like these scenes stand out to you?
Oh, this is a tough one, actually. This is like a Leslie question almost.
Right. Who wants to go first?
I think Leslie should go first.
Leslie should go first. Yeah.
Oh Christ. Okay. I guess that means, Christine, you're still trying to think of yours.
But... No, I got one. Oh no. I have one that's always.
Now, are we answering this without talking about, I guess, the death scenes, right? Or
right, yeah.
No junior death, no.
Definitely makes it more challenging. I like it.
Makes it more challenging.
You know what? Let's throw in the resurrection too at the end, because that's always talked about too.
That's true. That's not a death scene. That's a resurrection.
Yeah, but it's a scene that stands out the most. But you know what? A scene that it may not be my favorite, but it's one I really do appreciate, and it kind of like, in a way, kind of flies into the face of my advocation for being the advocate for Destoroyah. And I may be in a minority for this, but honestly, I actually do appreciate the military taking out Destoroyah. Now, I know every Godzilla fan wanted Godzilla to be the one to kill Destoroyah, and I understand that. But I'm looking at it from a perspective that when you watch a lot of these movies, the military are there as fodder. They're not really there. I mean, it's not like when you watch these scenes, these obligatory scenes of the military confronting the kaiju, it's not like a tank is going to get one lucky kill shot and Godzilla's going to clutch his death and kill over dead. It's not like that.
Like when a kaiju comes out and a human being pulls out their pistol and starts shooting in the air. Like, what are you thinking, bro?
And a lot of times they can barely hit their target, like the scene in Mothra vs. Godzilla, the Frontier missile scene.
They're a bunch of stormtroopers. They're a bunch of stormtroopers.
Like they shooting everything but him. But again, my point is a lot of times the military in these films are looked upon either as incompetent or they can't really finish the job. Like, how can they protect people with them doing what they do? But there are a few times where they can and have got the better of a kaiju, like Gaara comes to mind, you know. They almost got him. They almost got him in Mothra vs. Godzilla. I mean, I can admit that. They almost got him with that second plan. But I actually do like the fact in this film that the military do make a difference, and the fact that they do take out Destoroyah. But also at the same time, if they don't intervene, if they don't minimize Godzilla's meltdown, we're all toast. So for that, also, they were integral to the movie in a lot of movies where they're not so much important. So again, this may be a kind of a weird out there answer, but for me personally, I actually do appreciate the military providing the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, of Destoroyah, and actually really saving the world at the end. So that's my answer to that question.
It's a solid take.
Well done,
I like
G-Force.
that perspective. Well done, G-Force.
Yes.
Go
So I'm next, right? So
Yeah.
it's easy. This is easy for me. It's simple, and I'm going to agree with Calvin Wan, and it's the Godzilla's appearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
This is the first time we get to see him as the burning Godzilla. We hear that pounding score from Ifukube.
Oh, yes.
Cooled, really emotionally driven music.
Oh my God, it's a monster!
Stop! You're ruining it for me. No.
Sorry.
Forget the English language. Nothing. Red Dragon. Don't they say Red
What's
Dragon?
that? Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, they're like trying to dodge. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna play it, dude.
Killing my moment. Aside from that, when Godzilla is rampaging through Hong Kong with all the neon and the neon contrasting with his glowing and smoking, and this is the first time we've seen it.
It's beautiful.
And it's just beautiful. And it's just, these movies,
beautifully shot.
Especially the Heisei movies, I didn't get chills. I got chills when I saw that. I'm like, this is going to be great. This movie's going to be, if this is what's happening in the beginning, it's going to be epic. But yeah, it didn't hold that emotion for me throughout the whole movie. Sadly, it happened here and there, but that opening scene in Hong Kong, and then when he goes in the water and the water is sizzling with the effects coming from the steam from the costume.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you can tell I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Just one of the best things in any Godzilla movie, I think, because number one, it wasn't Japan; it was a different country, and again, it was just so epic. And the special effects, they didn't mess up at all. The special effects were spot on. And usually I have some kind of criticism about Heisei special effects. This particular scene, they nailed it. They hit it out of the park. End of story. What about you, Christine?
All right. Somebody actually mentioned it in the comments. Because this terrified me when I watched the movie. Like, I was like, holy cow, this is scary. When the aggregate forms were in that industrial building and the police came in, and the aggregate forms were like throwing like black holes, blasting these people apart, chasing poor Eureka through the parking lot, and they have the alien kind of mandible that comes out. Oh my gosh, that always stands out to me because I was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like,
it's almost horror. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is scary, but no, like that whole, especially when he's ripping the car parts out and tearing the seats out, and he slices the car in half. I was like, oh my gosh, and just the mandible. Yeah, no, that one, that's the one scene besides the death scenes that I'm always like, when I think of this movie, I'm like, oh god, the scary aggregates. Wasn't a fan back in the day. Was not a fan of that scene.
They build that scene up a bit too, because there's no music. There's just the sound effects and the ambiance of the soldiers entering the building, going all the way down the stairs and going like throughout the complex there, throughout that building. It's kind of eerie, and there is a lot, and the commenter was right. There's a lot of aliens sort of homaging in there, and it makes it even better for me because I love aliens. And then that scene where like they show up and even their guns they're using are very reminiscent. Those two they have of like those big machine guns that they carry in the movie. It's like, it's pretty cool.
And then there's that one really cool scene where you see, I think it was like a mirror, like one's like when you go around a corner when you're driving, there's like those big mirrors they put up there. and they have that, and you see them going through, and then you see the Destoroyah, the aggregate form.
Oh yeah, it's like sort of distorted in a way. It makes it look creepy.
I just wish it was executed a little bit better. Special effects.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
my
Yes.
If that was executed with
Yes.
great special effects, that may have been my favorite scene, but it wasn't. Sadly.
Yeah, it's true. True.
All right, Kyle. Let's. Wait, no, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Don't forget Jonathan.
This one is probably going to bleed into the one of my question, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So screw it. Okay. So there's this moment in the movie when Godzilla fights Destoroyah, and the music track is specifically called Godzilla vs. Destoroyah 2. It's when. And it's always been my favorite sequence. It always gives me chills, and I get pumped up. Like my heart rate starts increasing, and I just start getting like pumped up. Is when you hear the ever-present Godzilla theme, right? The heroic version, the slowed down version, but it's played more like an anthem. Like this is the final time we're gonna hear this. Him walking to it, and you see that low pan across the airport, past the buildings, and he's slowly walking. Dun 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 dun. And then they face off, and they're about to go at it. I just love that so much. If ever there was a hype up moment of two characters going at it, right? To me, that's a pinnacle one. Like they put a lot of time and effort into making that moment hit. And it hits for me. I think it's super dramatic and super epic. And I can picture it right now. I just love it. And you see the smoke plumes coming off of Godzilla and everything. It's right before he gets slashed like viciously across the the midsection. I'm like, dang, okay, he's Destoroyah didn't come to play. So, but I absolutely love that, and everything that takes place after that. Just when he gets like. When the tail, like he like drags Godzilla around and like Godzilla's fighting it, like all that stuff is just like so brutally and well done in terms of the scale. But that lead up to that moment, I absolutely adore. I love it.
Nice.
What about you, Kyle?
Very nice.
Mine is actually. I mean, we already sort of said it. It's like, and this is the actual truth from when I very first saw the film. Because I had no expectations at all about what was happening or what was going to happen in the movie. When Godzilla attacks Hong Kong, that was the most impactful thing, and it had to do with everything. That whole thing, with the only exception to that is I really wish that when they filmed in Hong Kong, the people had looked more terrified running away.
True.
Or
That's
it
true.
had looked a little more like panic was ensuing in the city, as opposed to them having just set up a camera and like regular traffic is happening. And I get it. It's like I didn't really care that much about it when I saw it. But the reason I'm putting that out there is because I just think that whole first scene into the credits beginning is sort of chef's kiss, almost perfect. And I'm not going to say too much more than that because it's going to bleed into another answer. But the one thing I will say is, if you did not know this, I lived in Hong Kong for 2 years as a teenager. And one of the things that Godzilla actively gets to destroying in that intro is, or at least it's in one of the shots, is this restaurant it's the floating restaurant called Jumbo, and my parents went to that restaurant, and so when that showed up in the movie,
oh man,
I was losing it. I was like, oh my god, like it's like so dumb, but it was so cool, and I loved it. That whole intro scene after of Godzilla appearing in Hong Kong is so good. So I'm just gonna end it there, and let's go ahead and figure out our next question, which would be from Mr. Jonathan Boardman.
Ah, yes, of course.
Ah.
Not surprised. It's a music question. So with that, which piece of music or theme from the film resonates with you the most?
I love this one because I've got so
Good
many.
one.
I don't know which one to pick.
You got to pick one.
I know.
We're already at 2.5
I
hours
know.
almost.
I'll
So
pick one. I know.
Leslie.
all right,
Oh, okay.
Leslie, go first.
Okay.
Tis a
Damn it. Damn it. Even I'm stumped. Congratulations, Jonathan. You got me stumped. Damn it. Ugh. I'm going to go with. Shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with Requiem.
Okay.
All right, then I'll go something else.
No, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Christine's like, oh.
I'll be brief for the sake of time, but it resonates with me the most because it really does sell the moment. It does sell the idea of Godzilla actually dying, not in a instantaneous moment like an explosion, but a slow, methodical death that you see with your very eyes. Because I have to be honest with you, I have never cried at that moment. I've never cried when Godzilla dies. If anything, I get emotional when Junior died almost.
Yeah.
Actually cried when Godzilla supposedly died in '85, but this one I didn't really die. I didn't really cry because that last shot of Godzilla, melting and falling apart through CGI. I'm sorry, that has not aged well. I'm sorry. I had to be honest here. Now, had they done what they did, because if you remember, two little small scenes before we get to that CGI scene, they show a close up of Godzilla's face, and you see his flesh melting off his face, where you see bone underneath. Had they kept that throughout the entirety of the death scene, it probably would impact me more. But once they show the CGI scene, I'm mentally checked out. I'm like, I'm sorry, that doesn't look right. But at least Requiem keeps me in that moment. It keeps me where I'm not totally checked out of that. But again, when I hear that
100%.
music,
I agree.
It drives home the fact that this icon is dying. What we grew up on watching for so many years. And also, I remember a quote that Ifukube said that when he was scoring this film, or at least scoring this last piece of music, which was the last piece of music he ever scored for Godzilla. Wow, that's even eerie. But he said when he was doing this score, he was like, think about how he will form the music of his own death. And that right there is some heavy, 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 heavy stuff right there. So,
yes.
So without question, even though the Hong Kong battle theme at the beginning, that's some great music to work out at the gym with. But I have to say, for me, what resonates for me, what gets me here, it gets me all in my feels, is Requiem. David, what about you?
Well, for the sake of time, I'm going to say Requiem, but I'm going to highlight another piece of music because we talked about it earlier. It's the scene where the military is trying to destroy the aggregate crabs, and Ifukube uses the same music cue from War of the Gargantuas, the Defeat Gyra march, and he speeds it up a little bit to make it more intense and more exciting. And again, that piece, like Jonathan and I talked about this earlier, it's one of the few times where both of us go back to the US version of War of the Gargantuas because we think that music cue is more exciting than Ifukube's. But if it were sped up like they did in this movie, I would have liked it better in War of the Gargantuas. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does, because I just confused myself. But no, I love that they, again, I'm going to stay on the nostalgia train. He used one of his earlier music cues from War of the Gargantuas, sped it up to make it more exciting for this film. And I know we're short on time, so I'm going to leave it there. But Requiem #1.
Yeah, this is hard. But I'm gonna say Requiem too, because there's three. Well, there's actually like four. Like, the soundtrack for this film is just there's so many great pieces. But the #1 for me would definitely be Requiem. Because like Leslie said, hits you right in the feels. Like even when I listen to it, I start tearing up. But I do love the Hong Kong. I love Destoroyah's theme, and I love Little Godzilla's theme or Junior's theme. Those are like my top 4. Requiem's definitely #1 when I think of this movie.
Excellent.
Man, that opening song, the opening track is just so freaking good.
We're all in agreement. We can all be on the same one or this one, or Jonathan, what's your answer to your own?
Well, okay, so I am not going to choose Requiem only because that's my second favorite track. So the one that is the most impactful for me, and I've got to say, I'm aligning with Kyle here from his last answer. The main title, Destruction of Hong Kong, is one of the best opening pieces that Ifukube has ever created. And it falls in line with a lot of it kind of brings a merging of two worlds because you have him bring back a track from the Showa era, in specifically Godzilla versus Rodan from Ghidorah 3 and the Monster, and you're slowing the tempo down, you're making it more minor, you're bringing more of a low brass punch in those drums, it's the percussion, everything about it is so dark and it's so purposeful because it's almost like he's walking, towards his own funeral in that way. But he's also destroying a city. So yes. Even the intro to that, like when the Toho logo comes up and everything. God, it's just so well done and so it catches your eye and your ear so much. And like I said, when I first heard it, I hadn't seen the images of the movie yet. I was just listening to the music, and I could feel the power of it from just that. So that has to be my answer. The main title, Destruction of Hong Kong, is it's as the kids say, goated to me.
I can't argue with the kids.
All right. I'm going to make mine fast too, but because it is the Destruction of Hong Kong. It is that track. However, I would say even more specifically, because he appears in Hong Kong, actually pause for a second. We don't get a lot of traditional Japanese instrumentation and in the Godzilla soundtracks. We get, especially with the Fukube, we get mostly what would be considered to be your symphonic type of instruments used. Your horns, your strings, your blah, blah, blah. However, in the first Godzilla movie, you definitely get the Odo Island dance, the ritual where you hear a lot of Japanese instruments being used. But then it's nothing for the whole rest of the whole series. The closest I think you get will be in the Millennium series later on, and they probably used some in the films, but taiko drums, those sort of big boom, boom, boom drums.
Yes.
However, in this movie, very specifically, right when the crescendo happens in the Destruction of Hong Kong, that song, yes, the building up, when it goes boom, bam, you can hear Chinese instrumentation because he's attacking Hong Kong. And when I lived in China, I heard those instruments a lot, and that was absolutely the most impactful thing about that song. And what I was saying earlier about that music, the special effects, that whole sort of introduction, I almost feel like them starting the film with the smoking gun of where Birth Island was, like that should have not even been the first part.
Honestly, I still forget about that kind of.
It should have just been like Hong Kong, present day, Godzilla attacks.
You're right.
Yes.
Boom. But
100%.
Yeah, there you go. That's my answer about the music.
Dude, that is such a unique perspective. I never knew that. That is awesome.
You should listen to it and like really listen for the different instruments right in that. It's the only track they do it in, I think. It's like right when the crescendo happens, and it's amazing. So
and that is a tribute to Ifukube's genius right there, because that's so nuanced and so specialized. I love that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okie dokie. So that leads me to my question, which would be this is a personal question for everybody, like where you were when you first saw this film, in your Godzilla fandom and your love for the fandom, I don't know where everybody's personal story is about like how into the movies they were, but like when you first saw this, how did Godzilla's death sit with you? Were you wrapped up in the drama? Or were you like, cool, Godzilla dies, I'm ready for a change? Because at the time, this was the end of the Heisei era. The after they had pretty much, I hate to say it in these terms, it sounds like I'm being really negative, but after they had retread a whole bunch of old Showa era monsters, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan, and only Mechagodzilla, and only had brought in a couple of monsters, and the last one was Space Godzilla, which I know some people were pretty unimpressed with overall in 1994. So when this movie came out in 1995, how did Godzilla's death sit with you? Were you happy? Not happy, but were you sad about it, or were you kind of like, yeah, cool, let's see something different? And I'll ask Leslie to go first, unless Leslie wants me to go first.
I'll go first. It's all right. Let's see. How did I feel when I first watched the death scene? It was tough to watch. Like I said just now, like with the CGI thing kind of took me out of it, but seeing Junior revive at the end kind of like made up for it in a way. But I do feel like that it's just hard because this movie, the ending of this movie, again, even though I have some issues with it, I do feel like that they can never tell another story like this. Like this is so impactful, the death of Godzilla. Again, he died in -1, and he died in the original film, but it just, this movie, like the kids say, it hits different. Like this movie hits different. Where after he died, was I welcome for a change? It's like, I'm like, if a Godzilla film comes, a new one comes, fine. If not, I've always said that I always looked at this film as the last Godzilla film. Like, really, I know we had lots of Godzilla films after that point, but I always feel like that this was the perfect way to end Godzilla.
Yes.
And I love the MonsterVerse. I love the Millennium series. I love everything that we've gotten thus far. But honestly, if Destroyer was the last film, based on what they did at the end of that film, I'd have been fine with that. I really would, because you can't top that. In my opinion, you can't top that. So that's why, again, despite the issues I have with this film will always have a place, and why, and it's why it's one of the most beloved, and it's definitely one of the most standout entries of the franchise, because they told the death of Godzilla perfectly, in my opinion, and you can't follow that up. So that's how I felt about it. It was a proper send-off, and I look at like it was the definitive send-off for Godzilla for the Heisei period, because the Showa series never got a proper send-off. The Millennium series, they were all individual, movies.
No continuity.
Right. The MonsterVerse is still ongoing. The Reiwa era is still ongoing. But the Heisei era is really the only era that gave Godzilla a proper and definitive ending. And for that, that's why Destroyer is what it is. So that's my answer to that question.
Great answer, dude. Wow.
I
love it. I agree. Like that. Fantastic. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
David.
Did they give him a proper ending? Because here's my take now. I think that, well, let me back up. So when I first saw Godzilla's death, it was pretty impactful. I was pretty emotional from when I saw, the nostalgic factors from the ties into the original film, which we've already talked about. But when Godzilla actually dies, I was pretty emotional. I didn't cry or anything. I'm not a crier when it comes to movies, but I think that the fact that they resurrected him like right away, it took away from the fact that Godzilla died, because Godzilla is basically back. He doesn't look different. He basically looks the same. So I think if they would have maybe done that in the next film, maybe that's how they revived him in the Millennium series. Instead of having it, the end should have been Godzilla's death. Godzilla dies. I think it was a little bit, it took the impact away from me personally when you just saw Godzilla come right back. Like, oh, well, maybe not. He's there. There he is. We just saw him. So I think, for me, I would have been a lot more emotional if Godzilla just died and we didn't see any kind of a resurrection of Godzilla at all, and he really did die, the end of Godzilla, because it really wasn't the end of Godzilla if you think about it. It was Godzilla is
I
right
think
there.
what I appreciated about that angle though was the fact that the whole movie they'd been building up to like the absolute catastrophe of what's going to happen when Godzilla melts down. Like, he's going to burn a hole in the earth. He's going to set the atmosphere on fire. And then when they finally did it, that's like they're basically everybody's kind of like, oh, we are screwed.
Which would have been amazing.
Tokyo's going to die. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think what I like about it is like the fact that and I always assumed it was Junior. Godzilla dies and Junior absorbs the radiation, and that's what we see. And it's such a sort of like classic. We're gonna show something, but we're not actually gonna say this is what is happening. So like they just have like that slow zoom into the clouds.
Oh yeah,
all the radiation levels are dropping. I think what it gave for me was a nice like perfect smirk at the end of it to be like awesome.
It was a smirk, but it was also kind of a little tease because Godzilla dies. No, he doesn't. He's alive.
Yeah.
This is Godzilla, and I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. And I understand that the movie needed to do that unless they wanted to change the ending where Tokyo is destroyed, the world is done, which would have been a really brave, amazing, scary thing to do. But I guess they had to end it on a note of hope. So they had to do it the way they did it because of the way they set it up with Junior there. But aside from all of that, story aside, if they made the story so Godzilla dies and not, necessarily destroy the Earth in doing so, that I would have been a lot more emotional and been really sad because the character that I've watched for my whole life is no longer. He's still there. He's still there at the end.
It was his son. It was not him.
But it's Godzilla. It lessens the impact of Godzilla's death.
I hear what you're saying though, Dan.
But I hear what you're saying too, because unless they wanted to make it this super dark movie or change the whole script where he doesn't destroy Tokyo when he melts down, or maybe have he melts and then the army like finds some way to freeze it. But my whole point is I would have been a lot sadder at the ending if Godzilla died and we didn't see any more Godzilla at the end of that film. And you hear Requiem, and then we're like, oh my God, Godzilla's dead.
Yeah.
And it ends on a note of hope, and and I'm not going to say it was a cop out, but like you said, it was a little like, haha, he's not really dead, and again, marketing, and they never did anything with it either. Like when the Millennium series started, had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
They completely changed it. So if they would have utilized that aspect of it, oh my God, Godzilla Jr., blah, blah, blah. They could have changed the design, but at least kept the same storyline going. And again, Toho, you guys are saying like, oh, well, they could put Takarada in there because he was a different character. Toho flies fast and loose, guys.
Oh no, I admit that for sure. Like they definitely have different. So that's why we were saying like
do him in there.
It's the Mothra twins showing up in Space Godzilla or whatever.
It's the same thing as like when in the American version of Godzilla, Masaji dies twice because we all think all Japanese people look alike, right? We know it's the same character that they brought back, but again, my whole point is, and I'll end it here. If Godzilla was done, there was no more Godzilla at the end of the movie, I would have probably cried. But I didn't.
Okay.
Jonathan or Christine, sorry.
Okay, flash the question one more time, so I want to make sure I have it right before I.
Oh, it's just basically like where you were in your Godzilla watching life when this movie happened and Godzilla died. Did that have were you sad about it? Did it have an impact on you, or were you like, as a fan, I'm ready for the next?
So this is back when I first saw. Okay. So when I first saw it, it had a huge impact on me. I bawled my face off terribly. But I hadn't seen all of the rest of the movies in the Heisei area. So I had seen Biollante, and I think I want to say Ghidorah. I hadn't seen them all in order yet, so I had only a couple Heisei movies. I didn't have all of them. So I had seen this one, and I love Biollante was first. Oh no, was it 84? No, I think it was Biollante was the first Heisei movie I saw, and I love the Heisei design. Like that to me is Godzilla. Like when I think of Godzilla, I think of the Heisei. It was the first time that he looked like a real living, breathing creature to me. So when I saw this when he died, I was like, no, I've only seen a call, but I want more of this. And I still do. I wish we would have gotten more entries in the Heisei era because I just love the suit design. I love the stories. I would have loved to seen some new monsters created because really, I mean, I guess we had three. We had, Biollante, Space Godzilla, and Destoroyah. But, we had all these show movies. We had so many show movies.
Batra.
Oh, yeah, Batra, yeah. And I wanted more of this 90s design.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching, I was 6, so that was almost the 90s. So when I was 10, 11, these movies were still coming out. And so, yeah, I didn't want it to end. And then I'd found the other, few that I hadn't seen. And I was like, oh, man, that's it? Like, I wanted more of that. But definitely, though, like Leslie was saying, no other death for Godzilla I don't think could ever top that. Like, I didn't cry in 54. Or did I? I can't remember. I mean, it's sad. I cried in 84 for sure. But yeah, I don't see, I didn't cry in -1. I cried in 98 only because that wasn't.
I cried in 98. They wouldn't give me my money back. That's why I cried.
Really, no film since Destoroyah has made me cry.
Yeah, but
Like,
Christine,
ball my face off.
let me ask you this: would you rather them phone it in and not have the movies be so good, rather than end on a high note?
Well, I didn't want to phone it in, and then me confused. I didn't know at the very end, like you were saying, when they showed Junior at the end. I didn't know that was Junior. I didn't know what was going on because we just literally had just watched Godzilla melt down. So I'm like,
You think he just resurrected? You think Godzilla was resurrected?
No, I thought it was a spirit. So I'm like, they're going through these clouds, and maybe this is heaven or something.
Well, that would have been a whole different movie right there. Oh my god.
Most Godzilla, yeah. But I had no idea.
All right, sorry, Leslie.
But no, I definitely want. Man, I would love to have more Heisei movies. Oh my gosh, bring it all on! More monsters. I was not ready for it to end.
More Space Godzilla? You want more of that crap?
Okay.
Thank you.
I like the design and the idea, but it could have been
executed a lot better.
Yeah, way better. That was more like a kiddish kind of version.
More 92? You want more 92?
Yeah, well, because the 90s I feel were more aimed, the show was obviously for younger kids. And I feel like with the Heisei era, they tried to get a little bit more serious with it.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot more serious. It was aimed more towards an older crowd now. So I liked that, and I was growing up then. I was 11, 12.
And that was last year.
I really appreciated how much more realistic. The special effects were just mind blowing. But yeah, I want more Heisei. I love the new ones. I love -1. I love bringing it back to the horror. Okay, I need to shut up. Can we be quiet? I'm dragging this out. Kyle. Wait, you didn't go yet. Yeah. No, Jonathan, go.
Okay.
How do you top that?
Okay, so where I was when I initially saw this movie, I was in my living room at home, watched the VHS tape when I first saw it officially. Never saw any bootlegs, didn't have access to them, so it's kind of neat watching it. We didn't even have an updated TV. We had still had the box TV. With the TV speakers. There were no sound bars back then. There were nothing. 4x3, the sides cut off.
Oh, we remember.
With the grain, all that stuff. But I would say when I first saw it, I was definitely emotional. I mean, I didn't cry, but I was definitely tearing up, like in that little, like the kind of like the stutter breathing and the hyperventilating. And the score made it that much more impactful for me because I was such a huge fan of the music. Realizing through whatever news I could find and whatnot that this was the final one, and that Ifukube essentially retired with this, made me really sad because I wanted more Ifukube genius in future endeavors and other films, and more of his creative genius coming back. How many different tracks could we have gotten coming back or resurrected, like from other films? Going forward, I do agree with you, Christine, in the way that I really would have wanted to see it continue. Of course, not phoned in, but the writing was on the wall. Obviously, they after Space Godzilla was like, okay, we need to finish this off for now and let Hollywood take over. And I think the significance of it for me, we all knew by this time 98 had already come out, and we had already seen it and been, depending on who you talk to, disappointed by it. So. And we also knew that Godzilla 2000 was coming. We already knew that. So the significance of it for me wasn't like, at the time, it wasn't super like crushing, because I was like, okay, well, we have Godzilla coming back. Like, I'm really excited to see what they do with Godzilla 2000 going forward. I was really excited for that.
That's why I framed the question this way. Yeah. I'm with David. I saw it, luckily for me, I saw it right literally at the tail end of when the Heisei era was being produced. And so it was that. I mean, we were still a year away from any more information on like Hollywood even having it. So, or I was. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, context, especially when it comes to when we saw it, it totally matters, because everyone's experience. What I love about this and hearing everyone's experience is totally different, especially for you guys who watched it initially before anything else new was announced, even before 98 was seen. I mean, it probably was really impactful for you. It was impactful for me, but like I said, it was more of on the musical side. Like, I was more bummed that Akira Ifukube, which I understood and respected, but his decision, but also was really bummed that we potentially wouldn't be hearing any more original music going forward from him. That also made it doubly crushing for me on that front. But yeah, very significant nonetheless. But what about you, Kyle?
Like I said before, I kind of wasn't really in the I wasn't in the Godzilla at the time, and basically I found it from Barry's Temple of Godzilla. And even though I definitely wasn't in a situation where I was like, oh, Godzilla's tired and played out. But I know that nowadays, at the time, Godzilla was being seen as audiences in Japan as more and more of a blasé type of character, type of franchise. And so I didn't feel that way. I felt like similarly to everybody here, every one of you have said something that I am resonating with. So I think that like Godzilla's death, they can't do it the same way, and that was so well done. I think I did tear up a little bit, or I got a little misty when I saw it, because even though I didn't understand what was happening in the movie. Because I didn't know what was going on, I still feel like it is a wonderful final note, even though it wasn't the final note. Like, sort of like, this is how we're ending it. And if they had decided to not make any more movies, even though I love GMK and my favorite movie, it was one of my favorite movies that came out years later, I would have sort of been okay with it. So I think for me, I was definitely wrapped up in it, and the drama, and I appreciate it for what it was in that respect. Mm-hmm. I don't know why my question was such a down question, because we should bring it back up, and in the final minutes of this segment, show off our top 3 collectibles of Godzilla, since this is a collector-related show here, of Godzilla versus Destoroyah specifically, because we got to get this show wrapped up as we're encroaching on 3 hours. So thank you very much for everybody who's chimed in too. I've loved seeing all the answers in the comments and stuff like that.
Great
loved
answers
hearing
in the
all of your
comments.
answers. It's been so great. So let's go ahead and ask Leslie Chambers what his top 3 Godzilla versus Destoroyah collectibles are in his collection.
That's the thing. I've already talked about them a few times before, so I'm gonna weave a little bit and actually talk about. Let's go through real fast. 3 of the items that I got this year, because I'm really big on anniversary collectibles. Like I like collecting collectibles that speak to me, that pertains to a movie celebrating an anniversary. First and foremost, again, I made it a point to not leave Japan until I got this guy.
Yes.
That's cute.
Oh my god, I love this thing. I'm not a big plushie guy, but daggone it, when I saw this, like on some videos before I went.
Okay,
to Japan,
Leslie. Okay, with the plush. Okay.
It's not really a plush. It's something you put over. You put over like golf clubs, really. But daggone it, it's a plush for me. And they showcased it on Godzilla Day too. And I was able to find one at one of the stores there. So this thing is really, really cool, you know. And also, Kyle, if you can find this other photographs from right fast. The other 2 things I got like 2 or 3 things. But yeah, that's cool. But the Galloping Ghost 30 centimeter Godzilla Jr., which in my opinion, he should have gotten a lot more love this year, but he didn't. But still, we know whatever. And also the Flying Destroyer resin model kit from Black Dragon. You know, those were my grail items I wanted to get this year. And I made it happen. So that's it for me. David, what about you?
All right, I'm going to go pretty fast too. So I'm going to start with this
Rapid
one.
fire.
This is the Akama Tenshi. I love this color spray. It's a very traditional, true to the film color way. It's got lots of glitter.
So glittery.
You can't really tell from the
so glittery
from there. He's a beauty. I love him, and I think Akama Tenshi's done some great stuff with Destoroyah. And of course, I'm going to showcase. Calvin Wan said, "Everybody hold up their marmots." This is the very first purchase I made at my very first G Fest in 2014, and it is, of course, it's the event exclusive Club Tokyo 30 made Destoroyah from G Fest 2014. And again, this is the only one that I have. I have one, and again, this is a very special piece to me, because that's where I met all of you for the first time, or many of you for the first time. And it's great, and I love him. And yeah. And finally, this one is very special to me too, because I saw it in Japan with Kyle. The 2 of us were at the exhibit in Akihabara. No, sorry. Ikebukuro. Yes. And I thought that this was actually part of the display. It was like a maquette or something. I didn't realize that it was actually a figure that I could purchase. So, of course, it is my very first and my very favorite gigantic.
Yes.
Original release.
Wow. Yes.
Destoroyah Burning Godzilla from X Plus. This is one of their very first gigantics. And when G talked about this line to Kyle and I, he said he wanted to make them seem ferocious and very imposing and bigger than life and everything. So, and this is all of those things. And I was lucky enough to come home, realize that I could actually buy it. And James Hartman, good friend of the show, he had 2 of them, and he sold me one for a really great price. And again, my very first and favorite X Plus gigantic. So that's for me. I'm done. Christine, how about you?
All right. Well, I know we all love the marmots. I have some marmots, but I want to show off some other stuff that I have that, you know, because I don't everybody's, you know, I want to be like everybody else. So I do love the marmots though. Okay, this I got, which is really cute. It's the Burning Godzilla humidifier.
Yeah, give me some of that.
This,
thank you.
This is so, I love this. It plays music. It roars. So they little.
Oh.
And it plays like the themes from the song from the movie and all that.
I love it.
Use the
Talk about whimsical, right?
This is a lot of fun, and actually, this came out a few years ago, but the Godzilla store has these in stock again. So if you, I mean, there's this one, and then there's the regular Godzilla. I don't know if they have the regular one on, but I know this one's definitely on there. So if you want it, head to the Godzilla store. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. It runs for about 2 hours, on just one refill. The second one, this I really like. This is one of the first 1-Up figures I got. The 1-Up Burning Godzilla. This reminds me of the scene where he's melting down, obviously, which is what this is.
Nice.
It's
a good size.
And it comes with Junior.
Oh,
because there's not a lot of Junior love out there. And
love it.
Little aggregate form Destoroyah.
All 3 of those come together?
You get all, you get
that's great.
the pack. I know they've released more, and I think a later release has the Super X3, which is kind of cool. So, like, I'm tempted to get that too. And then my number one, surprise, because everybody knows how much I love this figure. The Neo Player one.
Oh, that's your favorite, yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I fell in love when I first saw this thing. Never thought I'd be able to get it. It's not only special to me because I love it so much, but because of how I got it. Because Nick had entered, actually Joe had asked Nick, because I had already asked Nick for something at Winterfest. So I didn't want to be greedy, be like, hey, can you enter this, and this, blah, blah. But Joe knew how much I wanted this. So he messaged Nick, and Nick entered and won. And I just recently found out they only made 30 or 40 of these at the show. Before he'd never released his the run count, and now he finally did. So now I know. I absolutely love this thing. It's got glitter in it. This is one of the first figures that had the smoke effect. It has now become very popular. So yeah, Neo Player 1 is one of the very first to put the smoke effects on the Burning Godzilla. So this is definitely a number one piece in my heart and in my collection.
Christine, you gotta find the video of that surprise because it was pretty incredible. Yeah.
I thought it was next, and I was like, oh.
You're like, oh, here you go. And like, no, it's for you. You're like, what?
I thought he'd won it. It was coming to show it off, and I was like, oh my god, it's for me. I'm like, whoa!
That is an instance where pictures don't do anything justice because seeing that thing in person, I gotta tell you, it's pretty amazing. Through the light, through the sunlight, that thing is striking. I love Neo Player 1. Love Neo Player 1.
One of the first, I think, it was this one and the green one were the first Godzillas by Neo Player 1. My battery's gonna die again. No.
Oh no.
But I mean, obviously they took off. The company took
just
off.
Like Godzilla.
Now they're just like very expensive. But so this is probably be the only. This is the Space Godzilla, and the mini ones I got probably be the only ones I get now. But really great stuff. All right, shut up, Jonathan.
Love it. All right, well, the first one I'm going to show off is I'm just going to get right to it. The Frog Tree, Okyo Desugoji.
Yes.
This thing is incredible. Absolutely love it. It's basically my favorite. It's as David would say, even though it's like inspired by and like a play on, it is my quintessential. I just love the wisps of like the smoke here, the effects coming off, and like everything about it just screams like old school Japanese paintings.
Beautiful.
From like the 19th century or whatever. So I love that. Let's see. As if y'all were thinking I wasn't going to show a soundtrack. Well, newsflash, I got a soundtrack. The Godzilla vs. Destoroyah soundtrack from Mondo. This thing is incredible. I love the way it sounds. Just like when you put the needle down and the record scratching. It's just chef's kiss. And I love the artwork on this thing. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. And then last but not least, it's a doozy. Haven't pulled this out in a while, but I can't really put it anywhere. There's no place to put it. And Janelle would very much argue about where that would go. So I'm going to show it off here. My theater poster, framed of Godzilla versus Destoroyah.
Stand back a little bit more so we can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. Not that far.
Unfortunately, the ring light is getting in the way. But this
It's
is where
gorgeous,
this is where like the non-reflective glass would come into play, I guess.
Oh, so nice.
I know Nick has some of those, and it's they're quite expensive though. But or Norioshiro Rai, can't go wrong with him. I mean, it's my favorite artwork pieces of all time. So there we go. Those are my 3.
Nice.
All right.
All my devices are dying on me.
We should play Requiem right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I've died like 5 times in the show already.
I will also say the Frog Tree,
Yes,
but my green version. I love this thing so much. I remember seeing it last
Hail to
year,
Frog
and when
Tree.
they announced it, and I was like, I gotta get that. And then also another Frog Tree. This is the smaller version that came out. This is from one of the Wonder Festivals, I think last winter. Got this with the help of Matthew Gonzalez, and also along with David, I'm pulling out my giant. What is it? 3D, 4K, HD, blah blah blah. Like this is the glow in the dark super glow, actually.
Man,
So
that's
like he's all charged up, and you turn the lights off, like he glows longer than any of the other figures in my collection. But yeah, this guy is a beast, and I love this colorway. I remember seeing the Marmot colorway of this for the Desugoji that they put out, and I was like, that is so amazing. But I could not afford any of those Desugojis, so I went
Predator Vision.
And that
It's a beautiful piece.
Those are my top 3. I used to have way more Godzilla versus Destoroyah stuff back in America, but Burning Godzilla is definitely in my top 3 Godzilla designs. I've always loved it, and anytime something new comes out for Burning Godzilla, I'm like, ooh, damn it, do I need that? Like,
it's so good. Gosh. Everything's so
but you know what? Let's do this. You know what you guys need? Not my co-hosts, but you guys watching the show live, all 51 people here. What you guys need is a round of applause for sure, but also
thanks for hanging out with us.
you need to enter to win our giveaway, which David Dobko is going to throw up on screen right now. This is M1 blank Heisei Godzilla.
Glow Godzilla. Heisei Glow.
Glow in the dark.
Now
you could paint this just like my Akame Tensei.
That's right. I was going to say that this could absolutely be a total tie-in to this episode, because you can make this a Burning Godzilla, or someone you send it to, you could let them know to make this a Burning Godzilla. I don't have any any Sofubi painting skills whatsoever. I send mine out to get done, but if you can do it yourself. But if not, there's plenty of people in our community who do amazing paint jobs on these guys. And it's actually pretty cool, just blank as well. So I mean, whatever you like. This is actually the very last giveaway from our awesome anonymous donor. Let's give him a round of applause too for all of the wonderful stuff that we've given away.
Great stuff
in 2025. And I'm going to reiterate this. He doesn't want to be named, and he just wants his stuff to go to a really good home and to give back to the community that's given so much to him. So that's awesome. And if you go back and watch all the shows, we've given away some pretty amazing pieces. And actually, it would be really nice if you guys watching, if any of you won something, please post it and say, hey, I won this in March. This is what I won, because just refresh everybody's memory how awesome this guy was. And again, this is just stuff to say we appreciate you for watching the show. And we're going to do a whole different format for our giveaways coming in 2026. More on that later. We're not done completely, but we're done with doing it live on the shows like this. So this is the very last one. So good luck. And Kyle will tell you right now what you need to type in to win it.
That's right. So the banner's down there right now. Just hashtag Heisei. What?
Make sure you spell it right.
Make sure the people in the chat
spell
it. I think somebody spelled it wrong in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, that's why I left it up. Heisei blank. Hashtag Heisei blank. If you'd like to win this, we're going to start collecting the comments right after the collector moment, which is coming up right now, pretty much.
And before that, Kyle, real quick, I will not be going to the post office in December. I will be going in January. So you're going to have to wait a minute, because I'm not going near that post office anytime, because it's Christmas rush. My last time was last week, so you got to hang out until January. So there's that.
All right. So this final segment of the show is called Collector Moment. And Jonathan, you just want me to play the video, or you want to set it up?
I'll set it up. So we don't have any grand video to set it up for, but this is something we have talked about and discussed, and we are going to change again to refresh our collector moment just a little bit going forward. And this is kind of the first test of the new format, and I think you guys are going to love it. It's a little more collector forward, which we're all excited about. And what we're trying to do from now on is to have video showcases of your collections on the show, and we'll be reaching out and in the group, and also with PMs as well, to whoever wants to participate, and then we'll start logging them in for episodes. So this is a new form I'm really excited about, really
Also, we're going to
jazzed
do the
about.
survey too, which will also have a link in that as well. So
Absolutely.
we're going to finally have a viewer survey that we're going to send out through the Facebook group. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, it's the Collectible Monsters Collectors group. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, Jonathan.
No, it's okay. That's important information. You need to know this. So without further ado, here is our new and improved collector moment.
How I started collecting Godzillas. So I've always been a huge Godzilla fan, but it wasn't until 2021, just before I was about to have a knee surgery, that I found a Playmates figure at a local flea market. I brought it home and my daughter really started to enjoy it. She really wanted to play with it, so I had to find him some more friends. Lo and behold, a couple years later, this is now where we stand. This is all of my Burning Godzilla collection. Burning Godzilla is the main character of the personal collection, as you can tell. This one we have here is the Sarajerushi 1995 Godzilla. This was the original colorway of blue and silver spray. I sent it down to an artist out of Mexico. His name is Serp, and I could not have been happier with how this piece turned out. It is one of my favorite customs that I've gotten done so far. I just love the blue metallic on it. It is a absolutely insane piece when the lighting hits it just right. This piece right here is the Marmot Medicom Orange Translucent Theater Exclusive. This one right here is my personal favorite Marmot Desugoji. I know it's not the most valuable or the most rare, but to me, it's not about that. It's about the aesthetic of it. And this is the closest to a suit accurate Marmot Desugoji that you're gonna get. Here we have one of the big boys. This is the Yutaka Gigantic Sofubi Coin Bank. This is such a cool piece. Yutaka actually dropped this as a 1994 originally, and then after the Godzilla 1995 movie, they threw some burning paint on it, threw some gold nails on it, and we got ourselves a Yutaka Burning Godzilla Bank. This thing is just a beast. So, of all the pieces that I own, this one here is hands down my absolute favorite. This is the Tig Toy Kaiju Canvas collaboration. This is number 1 of 5. There were only 5 of this figure painted. From the subtle metallic blue effect that you only can see in certain lightings. I actually told my wife about this piece that if and when my time ever comes, I wish to be cremated and put inside of this figure. So I will literally own this figure in this life and next. So I cannot talk about my Burning Godzilla collection without bringing up this guy right here. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive X Plus Gigantic Burning Godzilla. You can tell that by his gigantic orange patches here. Super, super vibrant. The sculpt on this thing is just so fierce. It looks like he's about to jump off my shelf sometimes, just because of how massive that he is. But a very cool piece. Very happy to own it. And this is my favorite realistic styled figure.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
I personally feel like it helped the franchise. When Toho started marketing Godzilla vs. Destoroyah and Godzilla Dies, it created a cultural moment. You didn't have to be a huge kaiju fan to know that something was going to happen inside of this movie. something massive was going to take place. So I really think it helped the film in the long run. I feel like it might have hurt the film inside the short run a little bit, because some of the people that went up to the movie theaters, they already knew what was going to happen. So they already had an idea of what the ending was possibly going to be like. It created a cultural moment for Godzilla and Godzilla 1995, being that Godzilla dies. That's the whole grasp of it. And as such a big, strong, fierce character as Godzilla, to see him dying in that movie, yeah, that was a huge moment inside of the kaiju universe.
Wow. Well, let's give Steven a round of applause. Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
And
Steven.
good job, Jonathan, too.
Well, Jonathan, yes, of course. I wasn't finished yet. Thank you, Steven. You did a perfect job for our first, our prototype of this new series. And it could not have been better. It's exactly how we sort of envisioned it. And what I'm going to tag on to what Jonathan was saying, what we're going to try to do is have you guys, viewers, if you're into a specific collectible thing that we're talking about in our topic, we're going to feature you on the show just like this. And I think it's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to love it. I loved it. I hope you guys did.
Yeah.
And again, and Jonathan, yes, perfect job. It's outstanding. And Steven Sarnicki is our resident Desu aficionado. So again, many thanks. And if you're interested in doing this, hit us up and we'll hit you up if we think you are.
Ooh, I can't wait till we get some Monsterverse stuff. I can't wait.
It's inevitable.
You know what? You had to
David,
go there.
it's inevitable.
I can't wait.
I might not be around for that episode. I don't know.
Well,
Thank you.
we
Thank you, Steve.
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Here's the thing. I gotta say this. I just saw that. Thank you, Steve. I gotta say, you made it really easy. I mean, all I had to do was cobble it together. And this is like, if you're everyone watching in here, this is exactly the sort of format we're looking for going forward. We'll ask you for a couple straightforward questions about what's your top 3 collectibles or so. Like, show us your collection a little bit, and then there may be a question, there may not, and we'll go from there. So that's exactly 16:9. We're looking for the wide camera view. But yeah, keep sharing stuff and keep in tune to the group, because you might be on the next one.
And a lot of this will be sort of like put to you in Kyle's our questionnaire too. So we're gonna a lot of things we're gonna find out that you guys want to see from us, and what we can do better, what you like that we do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those come back to us and getting some feedback.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go ahead and give away a figure. We're going to share the StreamYard giveaway tool so everyone knows we're on the up and up.
Good
Start
luck.
collecting the comments. We got 26 entries.
Nice.
So let's figure out who's going to be the big winner.
United States, please.
That's you, Steve.
Steve.
That's hilarious.
Wait, what? How did that happen? Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Wow. How perfect is that?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, congrats.
Wow.
You can get painted like Burning Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, he's got so many.
He's got a guy down in Mexico.
You may want to keep this one blank.
Just saying.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my god.
Congratulations,
Perfect.
Steve.
That is amazing.
Let's go. Yeah. Well, he lives in Pennsylvania, so I know where I've got to ship it, but he's got to wait.
All right. Well, oh my gosh, we are at 3 hours and almost 18 minutes. What a show. What a great subject. I love talking about the movies. I love showing off the collectibles. I love hearing all you guys' responses, including you guys watching live. We have clocked in with, I think we had a little bit over at one point, but 53 people still here watching us wrap up this episode. You guys
One
are
more
awesome.
round of applause, because you guys are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you know
let's
who
just
else
say
loves
it.
that?
What's that, Jonathan?
You know who else loves that?
Who's that? Destoroyah. Nice. Well, I would say what a wonderful way for us to wrap up 2025 for Collect All Monsters. I don't think we have any more supplementals scheduled for the rest of this year, but we will be doing a lot more. I mean, supplementals and regular episodes coming up in 2026. We hope you guys have an incredible holiday season.
Yes.
An incredible new year. We can't wait to see you guys. If you're not already a member of the Facebook group, go ahead and head on over. Especially Facebook is your thing. We also have an Instagram account, the Collect All Monsters TV account as well. So just keep in touch. Get your collections out there. We love seeing what you're buying.
Right.
And
well, Christmas is going to come with some great stuff. I tell you that right now in the group.
Yeah. So as Leslie said earlier in the show, when we have our next episode in January, we're going to have a Q&A episode. So we're going to be reaching out to you guys for questions for us to answer. We're going to do a survey for you guys. That'll come out again through the Facebook group. And yes, the new format for the Collector's Moment and even more. So definitely stay tuned to Collect All Monsters and hang out with us as we continue to say, until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated. The monsters are in revolt and civilization is in chaos. But together we must unite and...
Collect
all
monsters.
See you guys next year.